Blog Talk Radio.
Here we go. Blast off.
This is True Capitalist Radio. True Capitalist Radio.
I am your host, the man they call Ghost.
The badass of business.
Give him capitalism or give him death.
That's it. Period.
Broadcasting from his Skyline office studios in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas.
You sound fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops, for Christ's sake.
And now, he'll take it from here. Your host, the prognosticator of prognosticators, the man they call Ghost.
How's it going, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to this spontaneous Sunday edition, definitely an important edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. It is the presidential debate edition of the show, folks. So if you're listening to us live right now, I really do appreciate it. And if not, I'd like for you to please spread it around like wildfire. I got to cool down here. I'm not in my traditional locale as it relates to doing this show. I've actually got the wife right over here. I've got Templeton over there, and kind of an informal, impromptu type of show. But I think that this is going to be a very, very, very important debate, probably the most important debate of the campaign, probably the most important debate in American history. And I'm not trying to romanticize it, over glamorize it. I think it's genuine. For you folks that have been unaware, I'm just going to get right into the meat and potatoes. They have thrown everything and the kitchen sink at Donald Trump, and I'm talking about the mainstream media. Folks, of course, they unearthed this video, this infamous, what was deemed on Twitter trends, Trump tapes of Trump making some remarks. Of course, in private, it was not under any other assumption that he was being recorded. And moreover, folks, he may have said some things that may have offended the traditional folk if it was directed in a traditional social conversation. I just want to get this, and I want to nip it in the bud already. All right, first and foremost, let's stop, all right? If you're like, oh, my God, I can't believe Donald Trump would say that word. I can't believe he said it. Yeah, oh, my God. You know, let me tell you something, okay? For you folks that don't know, if you've got some children, if you've got some virgin ears, please step away for the next few minutes because I am going to describe what everybody is having a hoopla about, all right? Now, go ahead and get the children out, all right? As a matter of fact, while you're doing that, let me go ahead. More beer. Let's get some more beer. I got to calm down on the screaming here. The last thing we need is freaking cops coming in here. You know, I've only been living in this freaking town for a few weeks, for Christ's sake. I'm not going to sit over here and try to make enemies here. So let's get some beer going. I mean, it's that kind of time. It's that libation. It's that vice time, especially if you're going to be watching this debate, folks. And there's going to be fireworks. Anyway, folks, for you folks that are unaware, supposedly Donald Trump, all right, is some bad, nefarious character because he was recorded in private conversation saying that he's either grabbed a woman or, suggested it in a metaphorical sense. He did not literally intend that he does this, but what he said was that, because of his stature, because of his status, and look, let's not deny it, when you're a rich man, you understand what I'm saying? When you're, somebody who is of affluence, if you're somebody who's famous, all right, you're going to have a lot of these females. You're going to even have a male attention, transsexual attention, all right, pansexual attention. All right, I mean, I know that there's a lot of folks that just can't imagine that. That's never happened to you when you just walk outside, there's a woman trying to pull your balls out of your pants. I know that's never happened to you folks. But that happens every single day, and that's what he was trying to get across to Billy Bush, which, folks, this is a person not only who is I don't know if he's the former head or he's still the head of freaking commentator at freaking Access Hollywood, but this is a man that's related to the Bush crime family. You understand this? He is related to the Bush crime family. So why they recorded this, they wanted to use this for later blackmail for anything. All right, this is how these disgusting, despicable, unscrupulous characters that work within our internal government, that's what they do. All right, the Clinton crime family, the Bush crime family, they blackmail people into submitting to their will, folks. That's why you have everybody in Washington, you have everybody in the Democratic Party submitting to a dying Hillary Clinton, a literally dying Hillary Clinton. All right, I mean, I'm surprised she's even going to come up to this debate. She's been AWOL ever since. But anyway, folks, what Donald Trump said, and that everybody's having a big hoopla and a big problem about, is that he said that he has so much stature that he could literally, get a woman, hug him, and literally grab him by the pussy, is what he said. I'm sorry, I know there's a lot of people who are like, oh my God. That's what he said. He said, I can grab him by the pussy. And you know what I think is going to happen? And I think that I'm witnessing firsthand that's happening on a national basis, is that people are interpreting this. And I think that it's grabbing America by the pussy. If I could use this particular metaphor, it is grabbing America by the absolute pussification of America that we have been subjected to, that I have been talking about since 2008. All right? It has grabbed America by the pussy. All right? It has grabbed America by the pussy, and it is bringing it back into a element of what manhood is about, folks. Because let me tell you, all right? The whole locker room talk, I know that particular euphemism is brought up as of late on the talking heads. This is locker room talk, folks. All right? I mean, didn't we used to see this on the after-school specials, Remember Billy and Billy and Heather, whoever. I was just thinking of it. Billy and Heather, they went out, they went to the movies, and they really didn't do anything, They go home, and Heather thinks that Billy is such a nice guy, and he took her out, and he went to the freaking movies, and anyway, next day Billy's in the locker room, and everybody knows that Billy took out Heather into the damn movies, and hey Billy, what's going on? Huh? Did you do something? And typically guys are going to be like, hey man, come on, And then, you're in a group setting. You've got other males in there. They're like, hey, I remember when I took some broad and I told their parents, hey, we're going to the movies. And I slipped her the sausage. And look, these are the kinds of garbage that is said. I kid you not, maybe not in today's fruity-ass male America, but it used to be said, all right? This is the kind of things men used to talk about. When real men are around, this is the kind of garbage that they talk about. I'm not joking around. Why don't you go to a golf course? All right. Why don't you go to a damn golf course and put some parabolic microphones or omnidirectional microphones that have high pickup frequency and take a listen to what these old men are saying on the golf course. All right, especially to the little golf cart girl. Depending on whether she is actually in a golf cart, they have some of these women that actually ride a bike. You know what I mean? And very skippy. Just imagine what they say after that woman leaves, after she services them with refreshments. All right? I'm serious, folks. This is how real men talk. And unfortunately, everybody out here is in shock and awe about Donald Trump doing this, for Christ's sake. I mean, give me a break. This is a clear tactic by not only the Clinton administration, the Bush family, the Republican Party, but the media as well for covering this, as this is some goddamn major story. All right? Here we have countless documents that have been unleashed by WikiLeaks, Guccifer 2.0, and other various journalists throughout this medium, whether it be internet, whether it be print, whether it be actual videography. We have countless documents proving that the Clintons are nothing more than a criminal enterprise correlated with the Bush crime family. All right? And look, as far as I'm concerned, these are the things that Donald Trump needs to be hitting her at, and they need to be hitting her at right now. All right? hit her right where it hurts. You're a criminal, Hillary. All right, this whole Clinton Foundation is a slush fund for you, for pay to play. All these ambassadors that are a part of the United Nations funded your campaign, funded your Clinton Foundation. You have foreign governments, the Saudis, the Chinese, that are giving you millions of dollars via the Clinton Foundation while you're Secretary of State. And they're getting favorability. They're getting preferential treatment. I mean, give me a break. And, you know, for this to be an issue right now when we got potential world war, I know you folks are, you know, in La La Land watching football when you should be boycotting the son of a bitch because it's an anti-American organization. But you need to realize that we are currently in a nuclear war confrontation footing. And if you don't believe me, why don't you take a look at what's going on right now, all right? Why don't you take a look at what's going on right now in Russia? Why don't you take a look at what's going on right now in Syria? Just take a Google search if you need to. It's not that very hard, folks. You've got nuclear weapons being mobilized in certain areas because of this particular I don't even know what you want to call the Syrian situation. It's just a complete human travesty.
FiOS is not cable. We're wired differently, which means you can get the fastest internet available with equal upload and download speeds from 50 to 500 megs. So you can upload 200 photos before your favorite song is finished. Click the ad and switch to FiOS today to get our best offer ever.
But then you take a look at India and Pakistan, folks, all right? And I've been saying this time and time again. This could be where the genie, and I hate to use that word because of the part of the world it is, because people will claim I'm freaking Grand Dragon or something. But look, I'm just trying to say this as a metaphor, all right? All right? There, let me grab you by the pussy, you stupid freak, all right? Look, bottom line is that we've got precarious nuclear developments of nuclear war happening all over the world. And the last thing that we need is some rehashed locker room talk that was recorded under nobody's consent and was obviously kept for future blackmail. All right? And the Bush's fingerprints are all over this. And guess who's voting for Clinton right now? Huh? All the Bush crime family. That's what I'm telling you, folks. Do not be fooled by this. And I'm telling you this right now. According to Roger Stone, he just tweeted this out. Hillary Clinton is going to refuse to shake Donald Trump's hand, and supposedly it's already set up that Anderson Cooper, a CIA agent working in a supposed free media, because he's a CIA agent, folks. I know you folks may want to say, oh, you're tinfoil hatting. Look it up, all right? Look it up. Anyway, folks, he is going to ask the first question, why, because she's going to get the first question according to all reports. So she's probably going to go right at, I can't believe that he says that about women. I think it's despicable. He has said this about minorities. He said this about women. He has said this about immigrants. He has said this about men, and I think it's horrible. I mean, you're going to see the first set of emotion that you have seen in a long time. And look, I'm a little concerned for Hillary because she's going to have to use a lot of that energy. She's been, building up, resting up in her crypt, for the past 4 or 5 days because nobody has seen her. All right. So she's going to use a lot of energy to, I can't believe this. I mean, this person is despicable. She's going to use the terms like, he should be disqualified. So right off the bat, and I hope Donald Trump, and according to reports, I understand some kind of inside info, he is going to go right at the jugular, folks. We have gotten the reports that the Clinton rape victims are in the house, all right? That's right, folks. They are going to be sitting there in the audience, and I hope that somebody directed Donald Trump to say, you know what, you have a lot of nerve, Hillary. Why don't you look at those women right there in those audience right there? You see all those women? Your husband raped those women. And what is she going to say? I'd love to see her reaction. Well, that's a lie. Oh, so now you don't believe them? Now, shouldn't we believe the victim, Hillary? Are you really for women? I mean, you mentally and emotionally abuse these. I mean, I hope he goes right in her goddamn jugular, man. Anyway, folks, look, it's about, I think about 15 minutes to the debate, if I'm not mistaken. I'd like to view everybody's stream that everybody else is viewing so that we can all be in somewhat sync. Of course, this is the internet, so, you know, we may be a few seconds off, but the commentary will still continue through. I'd like to, you know, let everybody know, give me a feedback on Twitter right now. Politics Ghost is the name. Tweet at me right now what exactly the stream is that everybody's going to. Obviously, it's going to be on YouTube because they've got the bandwidth to handle such high-end bandwidth capacity. So can somebody please tweet at me, what is everybody going to go? What is everybody doing? All right, everybody's... all right, I'm still getting, I'm still getting people that are tweeting at me. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and say some cheers first of all, because this is going to be fun. I hope that you're getting yourself your vice, whether it's a libation, whether it's a pizza, whether it's some candy, whether it's a whole pie and one fork, whether it's a gallon of freaking Haagen-Dazs. I don't care what it is. Popcorn. Sit back. It's going to be a debate to remember. All right? It's going to be a goddamn debate to remember, and I love it. I love it, for Christ's sake. I'm loving every minute of it. All right, there's some people that are, man, everybody's all over the place on these streams, man. Man, Jesus Christ, literally, there is no consistency with everybody. Oh, Jesus Christ. Look at all these streams here. Oh, my God. Okay, this one seems to be the more consistent one here. What is this? All right, we're gonna see here. This is the second presidential debate. Let me see how this looks here, and then maybe I'll tweet this out and say that I'm going to view this one here. Of course, I got to have the advertisements, for Christ's sake. But hey, I know we can't really criticize advertisements, folks, because it's because of advertisements like this we have free content. So it's just one of those things you got to do. And hey, who knows? Maybe you like the product. Maybe you need it. Or maybe it's a bunch of crap. Who knows? All right. I'm going with the NBC News. There's about 178,000 people. The chat is disabled for this one, so I mean we don't have to hear anybody's banter about, oh my God. So let me go ahead and tweet this one out, folks, so that everybody can be in the same page. And of course, if you don't have to. If you want to watch your own stream, if you're watching it on television. Whatever the case might be, go ahead and do so, man. I mean, I don't care how you watch it. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're hooking a freaking antenna to the metal plate in your head and you're getting it through your mind. I don't care how you're getting it. Just get it. You must watch the debate, all right? All right, here. Let me go ahead and put a tweet out here, for Christ's sake. I'm going to put the debate I'm watching, all right? The debate I'm watching. And now, look, I'm not going to be able to live tweet, unfortunately, because I'm doing the show, and that's why we're going to do some commentary post, during and then post. And I want to take some calls. We're going to have a whole hour to discuss what we just witnessed, and hopefully we are in man, I can feel the energy. I don't know about you, all right, but I can feel the energy. Hopefully Donald Trump wipes the floor with this disgusting, despicable, hypocritical, corrupt criminal named Hillary Rotten Clinton. And, I just hope, all right? Because, look, they're coming out with everything in the kitchen sink, and we're going to talk about that later in the post commentary as it relates to the debate. All right, this is the debate I'm watching. Tune in if you like, all right? You don't have to tune in if you don't want to. If you want to, give your business to somebody else, if you like another streamer or something of that nature, by all means. Let me go ahead. Tune in if you like. And I'm just going to put ghost. I'll put debate and then ghost. Hashtag debate, hashtag ghost. How about that? All right, here we go. I want to thank everybody, first of all, for tuning in with me, folks. I'm excited. I could feel the energy, man. I could feel it. I could feel this son of a bitch. I mean, look, I don't mean to be cursing, but I mean, it's just the energy, man. I could feel it, man. Can't you? I mean, the importance. I mean, what's in the ballots. I mean, what's? I mean, geez, man. I mean, we cannot. All right, and I'm saying this. We cannot sit here and allow these mainstream media people. We cannot allow these Democrats, these Bush, Clinton crime families. We cannot allow these people to conduct themselves in this way and get away with it. That's why and look, I'm telling you, I'm going to see what happens after this debate. Because let me tell you something, we're at war. And when I mean we're at war, I'm talking beyond the meme wars. I mean information wars. I'm talking all-out onslaught, psychological war. And it's time for us to start getting bare-knuckle. And I'm telling you this right now, folks, if this debate, if you can tell that there's a setup, if you can tell that Anderson Cooper is interrupting and trying to, put himself as a part of the debate, and you know it's a setup, and you know they're trying to smear Trump, well then, by God, we're going to have to do something, all right? I mean, we're going to have to, go bare knuckle. This is a war, for Christ's sake. I'm not joking around. We cannot allow this criminal, this dying criminal, to enter office, for Christ's sake. We cannot allow her to do so. All right? This is about preserving the American way. I mean, I can't underscore it anymore. If you are not voting for Donald Trump, then you are anti-American. Because, I mean, that's literally, they're not even hiding it anymore. They're even saying in mainstream news articles and mainstream publications, nationalism versus globalism, how globalism isn't a bad thing. I mean, they are trying to incept it. All right, they're trying to incept it in your brain that it's okay. Just go ahead and accept globalism. It's all right. That means you can travel freely throughout the world. They try to make it sound so romantic. They want to say, oh, well, it's going to be a global system. No, it's not. It is going to be a global monopoly of many different compartments. There's going to be a global monopoly on bureaucratic government. There is going to be a global monopoly on corporations. There is going to be a global monopoly on military. And that's what you people need to understand. We, as the subjects of this world, we don't have any part of this. And the reason we have no part of this is because a lot of us have never even participated in it. A lot of us have not even participated in it, although I have. But I'm telling you this right now. This is important, and Jesus, man, I'm getting hype. I'm getting hype here, man. What are you about? Freaking, Jesus Christ. About 8 minutes, 7.5 minutes here. Oh, look, there they are. Look, there's Juanita Broderick. Oh, man. Did you see Juanita Broderick there? Oh, my God, she's there. That, for you folks that have been hiding under a rock, living under a rock, Juanita Broderick is the woman that, there she is. There, oh, man, she is the woman that has alleged for a long period of time, over 35 plus years, over 30 years at least, that Bill Clinton has raped her. I just tweeted earlier today her tragic account. Now, they're the Trump girls. The tragic account of her raping encounter with Bill Clinton. Unfreaking believable, man. Unfreaking believable. Anyway, look, I'm going to turn the volume up on this. I want to hear what these idiots are saying. All right, and let's get to this debate here, man. And look, as I stated, expect for Hillary Rodham Clinton to say, oh, I cannot believe you say this about women. He has a consistency of not liking women. He hates women, and he hates Mexicans. He hates blacks. He hates, she's just going to try to sound impassionate. She's going to try to sound like she's pissed. She's going to try to scrunch her little disgusting old face, all that stuff. And there they are. There they are right there. The women that alleged, right, there's Juanita Broderick. There she is. I think that's Kathleen Willey as well, for Christ's sake. Oh, man. All right, let's turn it up here. Wait a minute, who is this guy talking? What, did we sell the debates to China now? What the hell is this crap?
agree that it is important to stay engaged in the democratic process if Lincoln's words have any meaning at all. Come November 8th, citizens across this nation will cast their ballots.
Can somebody explain to me who this feller is here?
Brightly in the dark.
I mean, did we, sell advertising to China or something? What is this?
Washington University for hosting this debate and for giving voice to the competing ideas at the core of democracy. Thank you.
Oh, I guess he must be some university kid, I'm assuming. Huh? I don't know, man. Can we just get with the debate here? Jesus, all these blowhards trying to give themselves so much credit for doing nothing. Good God. What is this, some kind of a ceremony now? I mean, come on, man. What is this garbage? Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, somebody just said, that's my math tutor up there. Just get out of here, man. Come on. Oh, great, the silence here. Here, let me, before we do this, I want to say cheers to everybody out there. Ever since I've come back in March, folks, remember, prior to the comeback, it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of a race. Meme wars, Pepe, all that stuff, man. It has gotten very serious, and it's even getting more serious as days go by. We're going to talk about what the Clinton crime family and the media have in store for tomorrow in the third hour, because it's pretty disgusting on what the hell they're going to have in store, and it's just going to get worse and worse. All right, that's why I'm saying we're at war, and it's an information war. It's a meme war. All right,
please welcome
who's this hag?
President Bill Clinton and Melania Trump.
What the hell? Oh, my God. Don't touch Melania. Don't touch Melania. Don't touch her, Slick Willie, you sick bat. Don't touch her. Don't. God damn it. Somebody better wash those hands, man. I'm telling you this right now. Oh, my God. Freaking rapist. Look at him. He's right there. He sees him. He sees Juanita Broderick there. Oh, this is already getting good. This is already getting good, man.
A big part of the responsibility for any debate rests on the shoulders of the moderators. We are grateful.
Oh, great. Bring out stupid Anderson Cooper.
Of ABC News and Anderson Cooper.
Oh, and Raditz. Jesus Christ. Could you get any more institutionalized media, for freaking heaven's sake? There's the CIA agent trying to act Mr. Hipster. Stupid fruit bowl. Thank you very much. I'm Anderson Cooper. Just came back from the bathroom. Do the little toad happen. Shut up. This guy makes me sick. Look at his little weasel face. Shut up, you CIA agent, you freaking spook. Shut up. Oh, my God. Shut up. Shut up, Raditz. Jesus Christ. I mean, do we have to watch this? Look at these people. They're trying to direct the audience. They're trying to already, spin the narrative. Oh, good God. I need a drink. Give me my freaking drink. Here we go. This is interesting here. It's getting interesting here. Come on, let's get with the damn debate here. Come on. Watch for Hillary Clinton not to shake the hand of Donald Trump, and for Anderson Cooper to say, why didn't you shake his hand? Well, I think it's despicable. I think it's disgusting. Oh, man, look at Hubble's daughter. Look at Hubble's daughter. Look at Webb Hubble's daughter there. Jesus Christ. What else we got going on over here? Yeah, I don't know. I don't have no idea. What the hell are we waiting for? Jesus Christ, these stupid people. Oh, my God. I mean, it's a very somber kind of city. It looks like a freaking funeral. Look at the somberness of this place. Good God. Like they just sacrificed a small child in the middle of the room. Look at this. It's just Jesus. What is this crap? Come on, everything rides on this, man. America rides on this, man. Jeez Christ. Oh man, jeez, man. This is just. Can you feel the excitement, folks? I can feel it, man. Everybody there can feel it. This is important. I can feel the sparks fly. Man, do not hold back, Trump. Throw it right in Clinton. Look at Clinton looking around. Look at her. It's like, oh my God, there's Juanita. There she is right there. I can't believe it. God damn it, Trump, son of a bitch. I just want to get my rocks off and just go, man. That's all I do. It's a little Arkansas broad. Who cares? That's the way he's thinking.
Fios is not cable. We're wired differently, which means you can get the fastest internet available with equal upload and download speeds from 50 to 500 megs. So you can upload 200 photos before your favorite song is finished. Click the ad and switch to Fios today to get our best offer ever.
Anyway, folks, I hope that you're having a good time here. Let me know if you're watching the debate here. It is the calm before the storm, definitely. Good God, man. Good God. All right, something happened to the stream here. What the hell happened to the stream? Come on. Oh, great. Got to do the intro. You know, you paid these graphic tards to do this, so you got to do all this.
Here now, Kate Snow.
Good evening. We are minutes away from the second presidential debate between Hillary Clinton and
Jesus Christ! I don't want to hear your commentary. Shut up! Shut up!
And this debate has taken on even more.
I'm sorry, folks. It seems as if it's already a couple of minutes late, to say the least, and they're trying to stall. Oh, my God. And it's a town hall style debate. Interesting. Oh, yeah.
Accused former President Bill Clinton of sexual misconduct in the past, and some of those women are in the debate audience tonight. Juanita Broderick and Kathleen Willey, we've seen there just moments ago. The spouses of the candidates were introduced, Bill Clinton and Melania Trump. They'll watch the debate from just off stage. And joining me now from inside the hall, NBC's Andrea Mitchell.
All right, we don't need to hear Andrea Mitchell, who's married to Alan Greenspan, who was the Federal Reserve Chairman back in the day before Bernanke. Jesus Christ. I mean, can we get any more obvious here? All right, seriously, can we get any more goddamn obvious? Good God. All right, let's just get with the debate here. Folks, look, I'm sorry if I sound a little angsty or antsy, but this is a very important debate, all right? I mean, I want to see Donald Trump go right at this broad's jugular, man. He needs to do it for America, goddammit. He needs to do it for America. Sorry, folks. I'm just excited. If you're excited as I am, go ahead and tweet at me, man. We're going to be trying to interact during Twitter, if you'd like, during the debates here. Jesus Christ. Let's do this. Come on.
Kathleen Willey next year.
Oh, it's still babbling. Look at that. They're all there. There's Paula Jones, Kathleen Willey. There's Juanita Broderick. Man, oh, man. Come on. One of you ladies say hi to Bill. One of you ladies say, hi, Bill. Remember me? Oh, my God. I mean, you know how Bill Clinton can just sit there and like nothing happened? I mean, that just goes to show you the depravity of the psychopath mindset of a liberal. I mean, they could just do something and look, I mean, the people that they victimized are right there in front of them. And, Bill Clinton is acting like Slick Willie, like, yeah, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. Just a couple of hoes, baby. It's just no big deal. Yeah. I don't love them hoes. I'm out the dough. I mean, that's literally what Slick Willie's doing, for Christ's sake, man. I don't love you hoes. I'm out the dough. Jesus Christ, man. I hope that one of them asks a question. I hope that Donald Trump points to them. I hope that Donald Trump makes reference to them. I mean, it's about time to start going bare knuckle with these sons of bitches. I mean, that ain't no goddamn joke. I mean, it's war, all right? It's goddamn war. All right, here we go.
I'm Martha Raddatz from ABC News.
And I'm Anderson Cooper from CNN. We want to welcome you to Washington University in St. Louis for the second presidential debate between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
Shut up.
Sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates. Tonight's debate is a town hall format, which gives voters the chance to directly ask the candidates questions. Martha and I will ask follow-up questions, but the night really belongs to the people in this room and to people across the country who have submitted questions online.
The people you
people, quote, online, wink, wink.
They are all from the St. Louis area and told Gallup they haven't committed to a candidate. Each of them came here with
what a bunch of crap.
they want to ask, and we saw those questions for the first time this morning. Anderson and I and our team from ABC.
If you're an undecided voter at this point, then you're probably the asshole that holds up the line, figuring out whether he wants ham or cheese on his salad at the goddamn salad bar, you son of a bitch.
So we've asked the audience here not to slow things down with any applause, except for now. Ladies and gentlemen, the Republican
All right, let's see. Here he goes.
Donald J. Trump and the Democratic nominee for president, Hillary Clinton.
All right, now, they're both coming out here. Here comes Hillary Rodham. Here comes Donald Trump. Let's see if there's a handshake. Oh, her eyes are already cross-eyed. Her eyes are already cross-eyed. She did not shake his hand. She did not shake his hand. She's already having a cross-eyed look. I saw it as she was walking out. Here we go. Let's see if Anderson Cooper says why.
We're going to begin with a question from one of the members in our town hall. Each of you will have 2 minutes to respond to this question.
I guess not, huh?
You won the coin toss, so you'll go first. Our first question comes from Patrice Brock. Patrice?
Thank you, and good evening. The last presidential debate could have been rated as MA, mature audiences, per TV parental guidelines. Knowing that educators assign viewing the presidential
She sounds very hard trying to struggle to read that.
Appropriate and positive behavior for today's youth.
Okay. I want to model a good for our youth.
Very good question, because I've heard from lots of teachers and parents about some of their concerns about some of the things that are being said and done.
Check out the eyes, Chico.
And I think it is very important for us to make clear to our children that our country really is great because we're good. And we are going
to respect
one another, lift each other up. We are going to be looking for ways to celebrate our diversity. And we are going to try to reach out to every boy and girl as well as every adult.
I'm surprised that she's going this direction. I thought she was going to go at Donald Trump. But here, let's wait. It sounds like a bunch of regurgitated crap.
That's why the slogan of my campaign is Stronger Together. Because I think if we work together, if we overcome the divisiveness that sometimes sets Americans against one another, and instead we make some big goals, and I've set forth some big goals, getting the economy to work for everyone, not just those at the top, making sure that
taxing people from 0 to 9,000 at 10%. Yeah, we know.
College and making it affordable and so much else. If we set those goals and we go together to try to achieve them, there's nothing, in my opinion, that America can't do. So that's why I hope that we will come together in this campaign. Obviously, I'm hoping to earn your vote. I'm hoping to be elected in November. And I can promise you, I will work with every American. I want to be the president for all Americans, regardless of your political beliefs, where you come from.
Yeah, right. You want to take down people like me. You want to take down people like Mike Savage, Rush Limbaugh, the alternative media, Breitbart.com, you lying witch.
Thank you, Mr. Trump. You have 2 minutes.
Go at her.
I agree with that. I agree with everything she said. I began this campaign because I was so tired of seeing such foolish things happen to our country. This is a great country. This is a great land. I've gotten to know the people of the country over
Hillary's trying to hide her ears now with her hair.
Doing this as a politician. I cannot believe I'm saying that about myself, but I guess I have been a politician. And my whole concept was to make America great again. When I watch the deals being made, when I watch what's happening.
She's trying to look down so her eyes can be directed. You can tell she's having a problem with her eyes tonight.
Healthcare is going up by numbers that are astronomical, 68%, 59%, 71%.
See, look at that. She tried to look up. She can't. She goes back and pretends she's writing. She's having a problem with her eyes. Come on. Somebody needs to tell Trump in his earpiece, start making random hand gestures so it can flip her out into an epileptic fit. All right?
Just 3 years ago. When I look at all of the things that I see and all of the potential that our country has, we have such tremendous potential, whether it's in business and trade where we're doing so badly. Last year we had an almost $800 billion trade deficit.
Jeez Christ.
Trading with other countries, we had an $800 billion deficit. Hard to believe. Inconceivable. You say, who's making these deals? We're going to make great trade deals. We're going to have a strong border. We're going to bring back law and order. Just today, a policeman was shot, 2 killed, and this is happening on a weekly basis. We have to bring back respect to law enforcement. At the same time, we have to take care of people on all sides. We need justice. But I want to do things that haven't been done, including fixing and making our inner cities better for the African-American citizens that are so great, and for the Latinos, Hispanics. And I look forward to doing it. It's called Make America Great Again.
Thank you, Mr. Trump.
All right, softball intros. Come on, man.
Are you both modeling positive and appropriate behavior in sports?
Oh, here we go.
We received a lot of questions online, Mr. Trump, about the tape that was released on Friday. As you can imagine, you called what you said locker room banter. You described kissing women without consent, grabbing their genitals. That is sexual assault. You bragged that you have sexually assaulted.
Uh-oh. You see this?
No, I didn't say that at all. I don't think you understood what was said. This was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it.
What did I tell you about this CIA agent, freaking fruit bowl Cooper?
I'm proud of it. But this is locker room talk. You know, when we have a world where you have ISIS chopping off heads, where you have, and frankly, drowning people in steel cages, where you have wars and horrible, horrible sights all over, where you have so many...
Come on, Trump. Go at Hillary, man. What the hell are you doing?
There's the carnage all over the world. And they look and they see. Can you imagine the people that are, frankly, doing so well against us with ISIS? And they look at our country and they see what's going on. Yes, I'm very embarrassed by it. I hate it. But it's locker room talk, and it's one of those things. I will knock the hell out of ISIS. We're going to defeat ISIS. ISIS happened a number of years ago in a vacuum that was left because of bad judgment, and I will tell you.
Here comes Anderson Cooper to interject himself and make himself part of the debate like a true CIA agent.
Just for the record, though, are you saying that what you said on that bus 11 years ago, that you did not actually kiss women without consent or grope women without consent?
I have great respect for women. Nobody has more respect for women than I do.
So for the record, you're saying you never did that?
Hey, Trump, grab freaking Anderson Cooper by the pussy, please. Jesus Christ.
I'm embarrassed by it, but I have tremendous respect for women.
Have you ever done those things?
Women have respect for me. And I will tell you, no, I have not. And I will tell you that I'm going to make our country safe. We're going to have borders.
Look at this, Anderson Cooper, CIA agent, spook asshole.
Coming in from the Middle East and other places. We're going to make America safe again. We're going to make America great again, but we're going to make America safe again. And we're going to make America wealthy again, because if you don't do that, it sounds harsh to say, but we have to build up the wealth of our nation. Right now, other nations are taking our jobs and they're taking our wealth.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Trump.
that's what I want to talk about.
Secretary Clinton, do you want to respond?
Here she goes.
Like everyone else.
Oh, I can't believe it. Women and meh.
48 hours about what we heard and saw. You know, with prior Republican nominees for president, I disagreed with them on politics, policies, principles.
All right, Trump. Set her up for the damn, you know, there's a lot of people right over there that your husband raped.
Starting back in June, that he was not fit to be president.
There it goes. Didn't I say that?
And many Republicans and independents have said the same thing. What we all saw and heard on Friday was Donald talking about women, what he thinks about women.
Here comes the women card.
What he does to women.
Even though she emotionally and mentally abused about 3 or 4 women that are sitting in the audience because her husband sexually abused him.
I think it's clear to anyone who heard it that it represents exactly who he is. Because we've seen this throughout the campaign. We have seen him insult women, We've seen him rate women on their appearance, ranking them from 1 to 10. We've seen him embarrass women on TV.
Which are like a -5.
We saw him after the first debate spend nearly a week denigrating a former Miss Universe in the harshest, most personal terms.
Is she still beating this dead horse, seriously?
Donald Trump is. But it's not only women, and it's not only this video that raises questions about his fitness to be our president.
Come on, Trump.
He has also targeted immigrants, African Americans.
Oh, didn't I say that? Here we go. I knew this speech was coming, man.
Muslims, and so many others.
Oh, come on.
So this is who Donald Trump is. And the question for us, the question our country...
You're so predictable, Hillary. Come on, Trump.
...is that this is not who we are.
Freaking grab this stupid, disgusting, crustated cunt by the pussy. Excuse my French, folks. I mean, look, it's late night. We're watching this. It's war. It's war.
The entire world. That America already is great, but we are great because we are good. And we will respect one another. And we will work with one another. And we will celebrate our diversity. These are very important values to me because this is the America that I know and love. And I can pledge to you tonight that this is the America that I will serve if I'm so fortunate enough to become your president.
And we want to get to some questions from
online.
online.
To respond to that? I assume I am.
Yes, you can respond to that.
Trying to move ahead.
It's just words. Those words, I've been hearing them for many years. I heard them when they were running for the Senate in New York, where Hillary was going to bring back jobs to upstate New York, and she failed. I've heard them where Hillary is constantly talking about the inner cities of our country, which are a disaster, education-wise, job-wise, safety-wise, in every way possible. I'm going to help the African Americans. I'm going to help the Latinos, Hispanics. I am going to help the inner cities. She's done a terrible job for the African Americans. She wants their vote, and she does nothing, and then she comes back 4 years later. We saw that firsthand when she was a United States Senator. She campaigned where the
Mr. Trump, I want to get to audience questions and online questions.
So she's allowed to do that, but I'm not allowed to respond.
You're going to get to respond.
Oh, you see this?
This tape is generating intense interest. In just
you see this here? Look at this. Set up.
2016 election on Facebook with millions and millions of
God damn it, Trump.
On the social network. As we said a moment ago, we do want to bring in questions from voters around the country.
Get this broad's jugular, man. God damn it.
Jeff from Ohio asks on Facebook.
I mean, you've got this.
The campaign has changed him. When did that happen? So, Mr. Trump, let me add to that. When you walked off that bus at age 59, were you a different man, or did that behavior continue?
Go act of these people, Trump. God damn it.
For this.
I told you, that was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it. I am a person who has great respect for people, for my family, for the people of this country, and certainly I'm not proud of it. But that was something that happened. If you look at Bill Clinton, far worse. Mine are words, and his was action. His was what he's done to women. There's never been anybody in the history of politics in this nation that's been so abusive to women. So you can say any way you want to say it, but Bill Clinton was abusive to women. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women and attacked them viciously. 4 of them are here tonight. One of the women, who is a wonderful woman, at 12 years old, was raped at 12. Her client, she represented, got him off, and she's seen laughing on 2 separate occasions, laughing at the girl who was raped. Kathy Shelton, that young woman, is here with us tonight. So,
come on.
I apologize for those words. But it is things that people say. But what President Clinton did, he was impeached. He lost his license to practice law. He had to pay an $850,000. Look
at Clinton's face.
One of the women, Paula Jones, who's also here tonight. And I will tell you.
There you go. Name them, baby.
Hillary Hillary brings up a point like that, and she talks about words that I said 11 years ago, I think it's disgraceful, and I think she should be ashamed of herself, if you want to know the truth.
Everybody's applauding. That's in your face, Hillary, you disgusting, despicable witch.
First, let me start by saying that so much of what he's just said is not right, but he gets to run his campaign any way he chooses. He gets to decide what he wants to talk about. Instead of answering people's questions, talking about our agenda, laying out the plans that we have that we think can make a better life and a better country, that's his choice. When I hear something like that, I am reminded of what my friend Michelle Obama advised us all. When they go low,
trying to invoke Obama. Jesus Christ.
And look, if this were just about one video, maybe what he's saying tonight would be understandable. But everyone can draw their own conclusions at this point about whether or not the man in the video or the man on the stage respects women. But he never apologizes for anything to anyone. He never apologized to Mr. and Mrs. Khan, the Gold Star family.
Oh, my God.
Khan died in the line of duty.
Who works for the law firm that does your taxes, who works for the law firm that the same law firm as Loretta Lynch, who worked for the same law firm as James Comey. Can we let's get to the truth here.
But Donald said he couldn't be trusted to be a judge because his parents were, quote, Mexican.
And he belonged to La Raza Unida,
to the reporter
San Diego,
that he mimicked and mocked on national television, and our children were watching. And he never apologized for the racist lie that President Obama was not born in the United States of America. He owes the president an apology.
No. Obama owes America an apology. That's what he does. Obama owes America an apology.
Well, you owe the president an apology because, as you know very well, your campaign, Sidney Blumenthal, he's another real winner that you have, and he's the one that got this started along with your campaign manager, and they were on television just 2 weeks ago. She was saying exactly that. So you really owe him an apology. You're the one that sent the pictures around your campaign, sent the pictures around with President Obama in a certain garb. That was long before I was ever involved. So you actually owe an apology. And number two, Michelle Obama. I've gotten to see the commercials that they did on you. And I've gotten to see some of the most vicious commercials I've ever seen of Michelle Obama talking about you, Hillary. So you talk about friend. Go back and take a look at those commercials. A race where you lost, fair and square, unlike the Bernie Sanders race where you won, but not fair and square, in my opinion. And all you have to do is and just see what they said about Bernie Sanders and see what Deborah Wasserman Schultz had in mind, because Bernie Sanders, between superdelegates and Deborah Wasserman Schultz, he never had a chance. And I was so surprised to see him sign on with the devil. But when you talk about I think the one that you should be apologizing for, and the thing that you should be apologizing for, are the 33,000 emails that you deleted and that you acid washed, and then the 2 boxes of emails and other things last week that were taken from an office and are now missing. And I'll tell you what, I didn't think I'd say this, but I'm going to say it, and I hate to say it, but if I win, I am going to instruct my Attorney General to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation, because there has never been so much. There has never been anything like it, and we're going to have a special.
Look at her, she's spooked there. Oh my God!
Go out and speak. The people of this country are furious. In my opinion, the people that have been long-term workers at the FBI are furious. There has never been anything like this, where emails and you get a subpoena. You get a subpoena, and after getting the subpoena, you delete 33,000 emails, and then you acid wash them or bleach them, as you would say, a very expensive process. So we're going to get a special prosecutor, and we're going to look into it, because you know what? People have been Their lives have been destroyed for doing 1/5 of what you've done, and it's a disgrace. And honestly, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Secretary Clinton.
Oh, man.
Everything he just said is absolutely false, but I'm not surprised. In the first
boo!
The audience needs to calm down here.
I told people that it would be impossible to be fact-checking Donald all the time. I'd never get to talk about anything I want to do and how we're going to really make lives better for people. So, once again, go to HillaryClinton.com. We have literally Trump. You can fact-check him in real time. Last time at the first debate, we had millions of people fact-checking, so I expect we'll have millions more fact-checking because, you know, it is
it's a little flustered there.
That someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary.
You'd be in jail, Hillary! Hillary for president!
We want to remind the audience to please not...
Shut up, you CIA agent piece of crap. Go service a glory hole.
And Secretary Clinton, I do want to follow up on emails. You've said your handling of your emails was a mistake. You disagreed with Director...
There you go, Trump.
James Comey, calling your handling of classified information, quote, extremely careless. The FBI said that there were 110 classified emails that were exchanged, 8 of which were top secret, and that it was possible hostile actors did gain access to those emails. You don't call that extremely careless?
Well, Martha, I say, and I've said it before, but
answer the question.
I want everyone to hear it. That was a mistake, and I take responsibility
a mistake.
for using a personal email account. Obviously, if I were to do it over again, I would not. I'm not making any excuses. It was a mistake, and I am very sorry about that. But I think it's also important to point out where there are some misleading accusations from critics and others.
Oh, yeah, like what?
After a year-long investigation, there is no evidence.
Oh, good God.
Hacked the server I was using, and there is no...
Comey said it, you dumb cunt. Excuse my French, I'm sorry.
Anyone who says otherwise has no basis that any classified material ended up in the wrong hands.
Listen to this 1984 doublespeak.
Very seriously. And always have. When I was on the Senate Armed Services Committee, I was privy to a lot of classified
1984 doublespeak, man.
Secretary of State. I had some of the most important secrets.
Oh, you're disgusting. I need a beer, for Christ's sake.
So I am very committed to taking classified information seriously. And as I said, there is no evidence that any...
Comey said it in front of the freaking House Judiciary Committee, you dumb broad.
She didn't know the letter C on a document, right? She didn't even know what that letter meant. You know, it's amazing. I'm watching Hillary go over facts, and she's going after fact after fact, and she's lying again because she said what she did with emails was fine. You think it was fine to delete 33,000 emails? I don't think so. She said the 33,000 emails had to do with her daughter's wedding, number one, and a yoga class. Well, maybe we'll give 3 or 4 or 5 or something. 33,000 emails deleted. And now she's saying there wasn't anything wrong. And more importantly, that was after getting a subpoena. That wasn't before. That was after. She got it from the United States Congress. And I'll be honest, I am so disappointed in congressmen, including Republicans, for allowing this to happen. Our Justice Department, where her husband goes on the back of an airplane for 39 minutes, talks to the Attorney General days before a ruling is going to be made on her case. But for you to say that there was nothing wrong with you deleting 39,000 emails, again, you should be ashamed of yourself. What you did, and this is after getting a subpoena from the United States Congress.
We have to move on. Secretary Clinton, you can respond, and we got to move on.
We want to give the audience a chance
put in jail, let alone after getting a subpoena from the United States
Secretary
Congress.
Clinton, you can respond, then we have to move on.
Oh, Jesus.
Look, it's just not true. And
she's stumbling.
Allow her to respond, please.
Personal emails, not official.
33,000?
Well, we turned over 35,000. So it was.
What about the other 15,000?
Please allow her to respond. She didn't talk while you talked.
Yes, that's true. I didn't.
Because
I didn't in the first debate. And
because you've got nothing to say is right.
Because I'd like to get to the questions that the people have brought here tonight to talk to us about.
And get off this question.
Okay, Donald, I know you're into big diversion tonight, anything to avoid talking about your campaign and the way it's exploding and the way Republicans are leaving you. But let's at least focus on some of the issues that people care about tonight. Let's get to their questions.
We have a question.
Why don't you answer the question?
About health care, Ken?
I'd like to know, Anderson, why aren't you bringing up the emails? I'd like to know. Why aren't you getting
brought up
to the
the
bottom?
emails.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. And it hasn't been finished at all.
Ken Carpway has a question.
It's nice to 1-on-3.
Thank you. Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare, it is not affordable. Premiums have gone up, deductibles have gone up, co-pays have gone up, prescriptions have gone up, and the coverage has gone down. What will you do to bring the cost down and make coverage?
Get rid of it.
That first one goes to Secretary Clinton because you started out the last one to the audience.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, go ahead, Donald.
No, I'm a gentleman, Hillary. Go ahead.
Secretary Clinton?
Well, I think Donald was about to say he's going to solve it by repealing it and getting rid of the Affordable Care Act. And I'm going to fix it because I agree with you. Premiums have gotten too high, co-pays, deductibles, prescription drug costs, and I've laid out a series of actions that we can take to try to get those costs down. But here's what I don't want people to forget when we're
Notice how
talking
she
about
didn't even answer the
reining in
question.
costs, which has to be the highest priority of the next president. When the Affordable Care Act passed, it wasn't just that 20 million people got insurance who didn't have it before, but that in and of itself was a good thing. I meet these people all the time, and they tell me
shut up.
the difference having
Shut
insurance
up.
meant to them and their families. But everybody else, the 170
God, this broad
million
makes me
of us,
want to freaking
get
puke.
health insurance through our employers.
How can anybody vote for this woman?
Big benefits. Number one, insurance companies can't deny you coverage because of a pre-existing condition.
Because there's a monopoly, because the government is forcing you by coercion and force to buy health insurance, which is unconstitutional.
Women can't be charged more than men for our health insurance, which is the way it used to be before the Affordable Care Act. Number four, if you're under 26 and your parents have a policy, you can be on that policy until the age of 26.
If they can afford it, you dumb imbecile.
So I want very much to save what works and is good.
What's working? What do you mean, a government-mandated health insurance coercion scheme? That works? You are a disgusting piece of trash, Hillary. Burn in hell.
But if we repeal it, as Donald has proposed, and start over again, all of those benefits I just mentioned are lost to everybody. Not just people.
Oh, shut up. Can somebody throw a tomato at this broad already? I mean, good God.
Right now we are at 90% health insurance coverage. That's the highest we've ever had.
And yet people seem to be more sick. Don't you agree? Everybody seems to be more sick with all this health insurance and health care. Haven't you noticed that?
It is such a great question, and it's maybe the question I get almost more than anything else outside of defense. Obamacare is a disaster. You know it. We all know it. It's going up at numbers that nobody's ever seen worldwide. Nobody's ever seen numbers like this for health care. It's only getting worse. In 17, it implodes by itself. Their method of fixing it is to go back and ask Congress for more money, more and more money. And we have right now almost $20 trillion in debt.
$20 trillion,
Obamacare will never work. It's very bad health insurance, far too expensive. And not only expensive for the person that has it, unbelievably expensive for our country. It's going to be one of the biggest line items very shortly. We have to repeal it and replace it with something absolutely much less expensive and something that works, where your plan can actually be tailored. We have to get rid of the lines around the state, artificial lines, where we stop insurance companies from coming in and competing because they wanted.
Because there's an interstate commerce law preventing insurance from, competing from state to state.
We want competition. You will have the finest health care plan there is. She wants to go to a single-payer plan, which would be a disaster, somewhat similar to Canada. And if you ever notice, the Canadians, when they need a big operation, when something happens, they come into the United States in many cases because their system is so slow. It's It's catastrophic in certain ways. But
just try to get your license, all right, at the DMV. That's similar what's going to happen to a single payer.
Has been after this for years. Obamacare was the first step. Obamacare is a total disaster. And not
look at Hillary's eyes.
Going up by numbers that nobody's ever believed, but your deductibles are going up, so that unless you get hit by a truck, you're never going to be able to use it. It is a disastrous plan, and it has to be repealed and replaced.
Secretary Clinton, let me follow up with you. Your husband called Obamacare, quote, the craziest thing in the world, saying that small business owners are getting killed as premiums double, coverage is cut in half.
Hey, what happened there, huh?
Was his mistake simply telling the truth?
No, I mean, he clarified what he meant, and it's very clear. Look, we are in a situation in our country where if we were to start all over again, we might come up with a different system. But we have an employer-based system. That's where
this is a pure bureaucratic excuse to sustain a useless bureaucracy.
Was meant to try to fill the gap between
we try to start it over, shut up, you bureaucrat.
Resources to afford health care, namely people on Medicaid. Obviously, Medicare, which is a single-payer system, which takes care of our elderly and does a great job doing it, by the way. And then all the people who were employed.
That's why I see so many elderly people bagging groceries. Yeah, okay.
To afford insurance and didn't have anybody, an employer or anybody else, to help them. That was the slot that the Obamacare approach was to take. And like I say, 20 million people now have health insurance. So if we just rip it up and throw it away, what Donald's not telling you is we just turn it back to the insurance companies the way it used to be. And that means the insurance companies.
That's such a manipulative statement. It is about the insurance companies. You are forced by the government to purchase health insurance. This is doublespeak 1984, man. It's disgusting.
So let's fix what's broken about it, but let's not throw it away and give it all back to the insurance companies. And
let me follow up with you, Mr.
That's not going to work.
Mr. Trump, let me follow up on this.
Just one thing. First of all, Hillary, everything's broken about it, everything. Number two, Bernie Sanders said that Hillary Clinton has very bad judgment. This is a perfect example of it, trying to save Obamacare, which is...
You've said you want to end Obamacare. You've said you want to end Obamacare. You've also said you want to make coverage accessible for people with pre-existing conditions. How do you force insurance companies to do that if you're no longer mandating that every person get insurance?
You're going to have plans.
What does that mean?
Well, I'll tell you what it means. You're going to have plans that are so good because we're going to have so much competition in the insurance industry once we break out the lines and allow the competition to come.
Are you going to have a mandate that Americans have to have health insurance?
President Obama, by keeping those lines, the boundary lines around each state, and it was almost gone until just very toward the end of the passage of Obamacare, which, by the way, was a fraud. You know that, because Jonathan Gruber, the architect of Obamacare, he said it was a great lie. It was a big lie. President Obama said you keep your doctor, you keep your plan. The whole thing was a fraud.
Everybody needs to look up that guy. He is exactly right. Gruber,
and we will be
the orchestrator and the constructor of Obamacare. He laughs, calling the American people stupid for not knowing.
And Republicans feel this way, believe it or not, and strongly this way. We're going to block grant into the states. We're going to block grant into Medicaid into the states so that we will be able to take care of people without the necessary funds to take care of themselves.
Thank you, Mr. Trump.
We now go to Gorba Hamid with a question for both candidates.
Hi. There are 3.3 million Muslims in the United States.
Oh, jeez.
You've mentioned working with Muslim nations. But with Islamophobia on the rise, how will you help people like
you're not a very good practicing Muslim there, woman. Look at that. Look at the fat on this freaking heifer. Isn't the body the temple also in the Muslim religion, for Christ's sake? Jesus Christ.
Islamophobia, and that's a shame. But one thing we have to do is we have to make sure that, because there is a problem. Whether we like it or not, and we can be very politically correct, but whether we like it or not, there is a problem. And we have to be sure that Muslims come in and report when they see something going on. When they see hatred going on, they have to report it. As an example, in San Bernardino, many people saw the bombs all over the apartment of the two people that killed 14 and wounded many, many people, horribly wounded.
No, but political correctness, man.
Muslims have to report the problems when they see them. And, there's always a reason for everything. If they don't do that, it's a very difficult situation for our country because you look at Orlando and you look at San Bernardino and you look at the World Trade Center. Go outside, you look at Paris. Look at that horrible. These are radical Islamic terrorists.
I mean, I know. I mean, well, how many more do we have to?
President Obama, he won't use the term radical Islamic terrorism. Now, to solve a problem, you have to be able to state what the problem is, or at least say the name. She won't say the name, and President Obama won't say the name, but the name is there. It's radical Islamic terror. And before you solve it, you have to say the name.
Secretary Clinton.
Well, thank you for asking your question. And I've heard this question from a lot of Muslim Americans across our country because, unfortunately, there's been
Jesus Christ. Here comes the liberal pump.
Dark things said about Muslims. And even someone like
remove kebabs
sacrificed himself defending our country in the United States Army has been subject to attack by Donald. I want to say just a couple of things. First, we've had Muslims in America since George Washington, and we've had many successful Muslims.
We've never had Wahhabists that have been trained by Saudi Arabia, which owns the majority of our debt.
My vision of
you
America
stupid
is
idiot.
Where everyone has a place. If you're willing to work hard, you do your part.
Man, how many times do we have to hear this speech by liberals before the general American populace starts realizing that, I think they're lying. I think they're lying.
Engaging in the kind of demagogic rhetoric that Donald has about Muslims. We need American Muslims to be part of our eyes and ears on our front lines. I've worked with a lot of different Muslim groups around America. I've met with a lot of them. And
my Muslims.
How important it is for them to feel that they are wanted and included and part of our country, part of our homeland security, and that's what I want to see. It's also important, I intend to defeat ISIS, to do so in
empty rhetoric, man. People still fall for this liberal nonsense. I mean, give me a break. Give me a break.
Why should we cooperate with the Americans? And this is a gift to ISIS and the terrorists, violent jihadist terrorists. We are not at war with Islam, and it is a mistake, and it plays into the hands of the terrorists to act as though we are.
Yeah, the terrorists that you and Obama created with the CIA and NATO that overtook Libya, that overtook Egypt, tried to take over Syria.
Secretary Clinton, Mr. Trump, in December, you said this. Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on. We have no choice. We have no choice. Your running mate said this week that the Muslim ban is no longer your position. Is that correct? And if it is, was it a mistake to have a religious test?
First of all, Captain Khan is an American hero. And if I were president at that time, he would be alive today because unlike her, who voted for the war without knowing what she was doing, I would not have had our people in Iraq. Iraq was a disaster. So he would have been alive today. The Muslim ban is something that in some form has morphed into a extreme vetting from certain areas of the world. Hillary Clinton wants to allow
And why did it morph into that? Answer the question.
Why don't you
still believe
her? You
I
interrupt
do.
me all the time. Why don't you interrupt her?
Would you please explain whether or not the Muslim...
Look at this stupid panel, man. This is disgusting.
Extreme vetting. We are going to areas like Syria where they're coming in by the tens of thousands because of Barack Obama, and Hillary Clinton wants to allow a 550% increase over Obama. People are coming into our country like we have no idea.
All these damn wild Yehudis, man. We don't know where they're. What's going on here? People need to wake up. This ain't no goddamn liberal love fest out here.
Of all time, we have enough problems in this country. I believe in building safe zones. I believe in having other people pay for them. As an example, the Gulf states.
And Hillary's already looking a little tired, don't you think? A little disheveled.
Can take care of people, but I don't want to have, with all the problems this country has and all of the problems that you see going on, hundreds of thousands of people coming in from Syria when we know nothing about them. We know nothing about their values, and we know nothing about their love for our country.
And Secretary Clinton, let me ask you about that, because you have asked for an increase from 10 to 65,000 Syrian refugees. We know you want tougher vetting. That's not a perfect system. So why take the risk of having those refugees come into the country?
Well, first of all, I will not let anyone into our country that I think poses a risk.
BS.
But there are a lot of refugees, women and children. Think of that picture we all saw of that 4-year-old boy with the blood on his face.
Oh, let's invoke some more emotion, for Christ's sake. I mean, these goddamn liberals, man, they make me sick. They're so goddamn predictable. How do people fall for this crap over and over and over again? It's freaking political insanity.
Aggression, and we need to do our part. We by no means are carrying anywhere near the load that Europe and others are. But we will have vetting that is as tough as it needs to be from our professionals.
Tough as it needs to be. Oh, well, thank you, Mein Führer.
For us, as a policy, not to say, as Donald has said, we're going to ban people based on a religion. How do you do that? We are a country founded on religious freedom and liberty. How do we do what he has advocated without causing great distress within our own country? Are we going to have religious tests when people fly into our country? And how do we expect to be able to implement those? So I thought that what he said...
This is the same red herring argument that these liberals... I mean, that's what they said in Europe, and look at them now.
You can look at
them now.
On a lot of the terrorist sites. And what Donald Trump says about Muslims is used to recruit.
Oh, shut up, you stupid broad.
To create a war between us. And the final thing I would say, this is the 10th or 12th time that he's denied being for the war in Iraq. We have it on tape. The entire press corps has looked at it. It's been debunked, but it never stops him from saying whatever he wants to say.
Has not been debunked.
So please.
Has not been debunked.
Go to HillaryClinton.com and you can see it.
I was against the war in Iraq. Has not been debunked. And you voted for it, and you shouldn't have. Well, I just want to
There's been lots of fact-checking on that. I'd like to move on to an online question.
She just went about 25 seconds over her time. Could I just respond to this, please?
Very quickly, please.
Hillary Clinton, in terms of having people come into our country, we have many criminal illegal aliens. When we want to send them back to their country says we don't want them. In some cases, they're murderers, drug lords, drug problems, and they don't want them. And Hillary Clinton, when she was Secretary of State, said, that's okay, we can't force it into their country. Let me tell you, I'm going to force them right back into their country. They're murderers and some very bad people. And I will tell you very strongly, when Bernie Sanders said she had bad judgment, she has really bad judgment, because we are letting people into this country that are going to cause problems and crime like you've never seen. We're also letting drugs pour through our southern border at a record clip, and it shouldn't be allowed to happen. ICE just endorsed me. They've never endorsed a presidential candidate. The Border Patrol agents.
Oh, man, we need some fireworks here, man. Come on.
Endorsed me. And they endorsed me because I understand the border. She doesn't. She wants amnesty for everybody. Come right in. Come right over. It's a horrible thing she's doing. She's got bad judgment, and honestly, so bad that she should never be president of the United States. That I can tell you.
Thank you, Mr. Trump. I want to move on. This next question comes from the public to the Bipartisan Open Debate Coalition's online forum, where Americans submitted questions that generated millions of votes. This question involves WikiLeaks' release of purported excerpts of Secretary Clinton's paid speeches, which she has refused to release, and one line in particular in which you, Secretary Clinton, purportedly say you need both a public and private position on certain issues.
Oh, I'm glad they're bringing up the WikiLeaks.
For politicians to be two-faced. Is it acceptable for a politician to have a private stance on issues? Secretary Clinton, your 2 minutes.
Right. As I recall, that was something I said about Abraham Lincoln after having seen the wonderful Steven Spielberg movie called Lincoln. It was a master class watching President Lincoln get the Congress to approve the 13th Amendment. It was principled and it was strategic. And I was making the point that it is hard sometimes to get the Congress to do what you want to do, and you have to keep working at it. And yes, President Lincoln was trying to convince some people. He used some arguments. Convincing other people, he used other arguments. That was a great, I thought, a great display of President
invoking Lincoln to try to justify your bureaucratic BS.
Because our intelligence community just came out and said in the last few days that the Kremlin, meaning Putin and the Russian government, are directing the attacks, the hacking on American accounts to influence our elections.
That is a bunch of crap.
As our other sites where
that is a bunch of crap.
Hack information. We don't even know if it's accurate information, and then they put it out. We have never in the history of our country been in a situation where an adversary, a foreign power, is working so hard to influence the outcome of the election. And believe me, they're not doing it to get me elected. They're doing it to try to influence the election for Donald Trump. Now, maybe because he has praised Putin.
Oh, let's go ahead and blame my Russians. My Russians.
Wants to do. Maybe because he wants to do business in Moscow. I don't know the reasons. But we deserve answers. And we should demand that Donald release all of his tax returns so that people can see what are the entanglements and the financial relationships.
We're going to get to that later.
He has
Secretary
with
Clinton,
Russians and
you're out of time.
Powers.
Well, I think I should
Mr.
respond
Trump.
because it's so ridiculous. Look, now she's blaming. She got caught in a total lie. Her papers went out to all her friends at the banks, Goldman Sachs, and everybody else, and she said things, WikiLeaks, that just came out, and she lied. Now she's blaming the lie on the late, great Abraham Lincoln. That's one. Dave never lied. That's the good thing. That's the big difference between Abraham Lincoln and you.
That's a good zinger.
We're talking about some difference. But as far as other elements of what she was saying, I don't know, Putin. I think it would be great if we got along with Russia because we could fight ISIS together as an example, but I don't know Putin. But I notice anytime anything wrong happens, they like to say, the Russians. She doesn't know if it's the Russians doing the hacking. Maybe there is no hacking, but they always blame Russia. And the reason they blame Russia is because they think they're trying to tarnish me with Russia. I know nothing about Russia. I know about Russia, but I know nothing about the inner workings of Russia. I don't deal there. I have no businesses there. I have no loans from Russia. I have a very, very great balance sheet, so great that when I did the old post office on Pennsylvania Avenue, the United States government, because of my balance sheet, which they actually know very well, chose me to do the old post office.
I mean, no kidding. You got the government contract to do the old post office in Washington, D.C., for heaven's sake.
One of the primary things, in fact, perhaps the primary thing, was balance sheet. But I have no loans with Russia. You could go to the United States government, and they would probably tell you that because they know my sheet very well in order to get that development I had to have. Now, the taxes are a very simple thing. As soon as I have, first of all, I pay hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes. Many of her friends took bigger deductions. Warren Buffett took a massive deduction.
That's right.
Soros, who's a friend of hers, took a
George Soros.
Many of the people that are giving her all this money.
That's right.
Many more
I can do what I want because Hillary Clinton is mine.
I pay hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes, but
the tax system is mine.
My routine audit's finished. I'll release my returns. I'll be very proud to.
Thank you, Mr. Trump.
We're on turn, actually, the topic of taxes. We have a question from Spencer Moss. Spencer?
FiOS is not cable. We're wired differently, which means you can get the fastest internet available with equal upload and download speeds from 50 to 500 megs. So you can upload 200 photos before your favorite song is finished. Click the ad and switch to FiOS today to get our best offer ever. FiOS is not cable. We're wired differently, which means you can get the fastest internet available with equal upload and download speeds from 50 to 500 megs. So you can upload 200 photos before your favorite song is finished. Click the ad and switch to FiOS today to get our best offer ever.
I can already see this is going to be a setup.
My question is, what specific tax provisions will you change to ensure the wealthiest Americans pay their fair share in taxes?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
One thing I do is get rid of carried interest. One of the greatest provisions for people like me, to be honest with you, I give up a lot when I run because I knock out the tax code. And she could have done this years ago, by the way. She was a United States senator. She complains that Donald Trump took advantage of the tax code. Well, why didn't she change it? Why didn't you change it when you were a senator? The reason you didn't is that all your friends take the same advantage that I do. And I do. In the tax code that, frankly, we could change. But you wouldn't change it because all of these people give you the money so you can take negative ads on Donald Trump. And I say that about a lot of things. You know, I've heard Hillary complaining about so many different things over the years. Oh, we should have done this. But she's been there for 30 years. She's been doing this stuff. She never changed, and she never will change. She never will change. We're getting rid of carried interest provisions. I'm lowering taxes, actually, because I think it's so important for corporations, because we have corporations leaving, massive corporations and little ones. Little ones can't form. We're getting rid of regulations, which goes hand in hand with the lowering of the taxes. But we're bringing the tax rate down from 35% to 15%. We're cutting taxes for the middle class, and I will tell you, we are cutting them big league for the middle class. And I will tell you, Hillary Clinton is raising your taxes, folks. You can look at me. She's raising
Yes, she is.
Really high. And what that's going to do is a disaster for the country. But she is raising your taxes, and I'm lowering your taxes. That in itself is a big difference. We are going to be thriving again. We have no growth in this country. There's no growth. If China has a GDP of 7%, it's like a national catastrophe. We're down at 1%. And that's like no growth. And we're going lower, in my opinion. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that our taxes are so high, just about the highest in the world. And I'm bringing them down to one of the lower in the world. And I think it's so important, one of the most important things we can do. But she is raising everybody's taxes massively.
Secretary Clinton, you have 2 minutes.
Come on. And remember, if you're making $0 to $9,995, you now owe 10% of that to the IRS under Hillary's plan.
But he lives in an alternative reality, and it is sort of amusing to hear somebody who hasn't paid federal income taxes in maybe 20 years talking about what he's going to do. But I'll tell you what he's going to do. His plan will give the wealthy and corporations the biggest tax cuts they've ever had, more than the Bush tax cuts by at least a factor of 2. Donald always takes care of Donald and people like Donald, and this would be a massive.
That's why all the billionaires are donating to you, right? What a worm.
Would end up raising taxes on middle-class families, millions of middle-class families. Now, here's what I want to do. I have said nobody who makes less than $250,000 a year, and that's the vast majority of Americans, as you know, will have their taxes raised, because I think we've got to go where the money is, and the money is with.
No, you're lying, Hillary. You're lying there.
Tax code. And yes, when I was a senator,
people that make $0 to $9,995 have to pay 10% of that now. If you were president. I mean, this is a fact, folks. If you make $0, or let's say you make $2 under Hillary's plan, you owe 10% of that $2.
Who are making $1 million? It's called the Buffett rule. Yes, Warren Buffett is the one who's gone out and said somebody like him should not be paying a lower tax rate.
And you know what he's doing? He's funneling all his money into the nonprofit organization scheme, much like that asshole Zuckerberg, much like that asshole Bill Gates. That's how they're funneling their money so they don't have to pay taxes on it.
It's been unfortunate, but it's happened.
I mean, these people think that the capitalists don't know their schemes.
Have all gone to the top, and we need to reverse that. People like Donald who pay.
I mean, look it up. Look up Zuckerberg.
$0 for our military, $0 for health and education.
You know, she's talking about how Donald Trump didn't pay federal taxes. He's a businessman. He's paying sales taxes. He's paying state taxes. He's paying property taxes. He's paying all the auxiliary taxes that are implemented by a municipality, zoning taxes, certificate of occupancy taxes. I mean, give me a break.
The New York Times published 3 pages of your 1995 tax returns. They show you claimed a $960 million loss, which means you could have avoided paying personal federal income taxes for years. You said you pay state taxes, employee taxes, real estate taxes, property taxes.
What I just said.
You have not answered, though, a simple question. did you use that $916 million loss to avoid paying personal federal income taxes?
Of course I do. Of course I do. And so do all of her donors, or most of her donors. I know many of her donors. Her donors took massive tax write-offs.
So have you not paid personal federal income taxes?
A lot of my write-off was depreciation and other things that Hillary, as a senator, allowed. And she'll always allow it because the people that give her all this money, they want it. That's why. See, I understand the tax code better than anybody that's ever run for president. Hillary Clinton, and it's extremely complex, Hillary Clinton has friends that want all of these provisions, including they want the carried interest provision, which is very important to Wall Street people, but they really want the carried interest provision, which I believe Hillary's leaving. It's very interesting why she's leaving carried interest. But I will tell you that, number one, I pay tremendous numbers of taxes. I absolutely used it, and so did Warren Buffett, and so did George Soros, and so did many of the other people that Hillary is getting money from. Now, I won't mention their names because they're rich, but they're not famous, so we won't make them famous. Okay?
Can you say how many years you have avoided paying personal federal income taxes?
No, but I pay tax, and I pay federal tax, too. But I have a write-off. A lot of it's depreciation, which is a wonderful charge. I love depreciation. You know, she's given it to us. Hey, if she had a problem for 30 years...
Exactly. If she has a problem, why don't you initiate a bill as a senator?
Something about it. She talks about taxes. Why didn't she do something about it? She doesn't do anything about anything other than talk. With her, it's all talk and no action.
In the past...
And again, Bernie Sanders... It's really bad judgment. She has made bad judgment not only on taxes, she's made bad judgments on Libya, on Syria, on Iraq. I mean, her and Obama, whether you like it or not, the way they got out of Iraq, the vacuum they've left, that's why ISIS formed in the first place. They started from that little area, and now they're in 32 different nations, Hillary. Congratulations. Great job.
Once you be able
Congratulations, great job. Look, she don't even... Oh, shut up.
Getting rid of carried interest for years, starting when I was a senator from New York. But that's not the point here.
Why didn't you do it? Why didn't you do it?
Because I was a senator with a Republican president.
Oh, really?
I will be the president.
You could have done it. If you were an effective senator, you could have done it. If you were an effective senator, you could have done it. But you were not an effective.
Please allow her to respond. She didn't interrupt you.
You know, under our Constitution, presidents have something called veto power. Look, he has now said...
Yeah, but at the same time, the Democrats dominated the Congress and the Senate and the executive branch in 2008, 2009, 2010. What the hell did you idiots do? Nothing.
Every year have health insurance, because when I was First Lady, I worked with Democrats and Republicans to create the Children's Health Insurance Program.
Oh, jeez.
Hundreds of thousands of kids now have a chance to be adopted, because I worked to change our adoption and foster care system. After 9/11, I went to work.
9/11. Here we go, invoking. Would you have ever thought of seeing these liberals invoking 9/11 as much as they have done here in the past few years? Disgusting. And they used to be critical of George W. and all them when they used to do it.
And children have safer medicines because I was able to pass.
Oh, my children.
Required the dosing to be more carefully done. When I was Secretary of State, I went around the world advocating for our country. But
you went around the world getting money for your foundation.
To make sure that women had a decent chance to have a better life, and negotiated a treaty with Russia to lower nuclear weapons. 400 pieces of legislation have my name on it as a sponsor or co-sponsor.
Yeah, and yet the country still sucks, and now you're still critical of it. Obama's been in office. The Democrats in 2008, 2009, 2010 had complete and total control and did nothing. They gave the stimulus package 2 bill, bailed out Wall Street, TARP.
Common ground. Because you have to be able to get along with people to get things done in Washington.
Thank you, Secretary.
And I've proven that I can, and for 30 years, I've produced results for people.
Thank you, Secretary.
We're going to move on to Syria. Both of you have mentioned that.
She said a lot of things. I mean, I think we should be allowed to maybe
Mr. Trump, we're going to go on. This is about the audience.
Disaster as a
Mr.
senator.
Trump, we're going to move on.
Jeez, what a bunch of garbage moderators here, man.
Named Amran sitting in an ambulance after being pulled from the rubble after an airstrike in Aleppo focused the world's attention on the horrors of the war in Syria. with 136 million views on Facebook alone. But there are much worse images coming out of Aleppo every day now, where in the past few weeks alone, 400 people have been killed, at least 100 of them children. Just days ago, the State Department called for...
She has a bloodthirsty look on her face, old Hillary, when she talks, when Raditz is describing those goddamn numbers of killing.
Bombardment of Aleppo. So this next question comes from...
Look at her. She looks like she gets off on it. Look at her. Yeah.
You asked, if you were president, what would you do about Syria and the humanitarian crisis in Aleppo? Isn't it a lot like the Holocaust when the U.S. waited too long before we helped? Secretary Clinton, we will begin with your 2 minutes.
I'd love to hear this BS excuse.
Is catastrophic. And every day that goes by, we see the results of the regime by Assad in partnership with the Iranians on the ground, the Russians in the air, bombarding places, in particular Aleppo, where there are hundreds.
Can you just answer the question instead of trying to fill it up with nothing but a bunch of rhetorical crap?
Determined effort by the Russian Air Force to destroy Aleppo in order to eliminate the last of the Syrian rebels who were really holding out against the Assad regime. Russia hasn't paid any attention to ISIS. They're interested in keeping Assad in power. So when I was Secretary of State, advocated.
What are you talking about? Assad is a secularist. Islamic State is a fundamental, fanatical Islamic wing of some capacity. Why would Assad and Russia, which are obviously on the secularist spectrum of politics, not want to target ISIS?
And we have to work more closely with our partners and allies on the ground. But I want to emphasize that what is at stake here is the ambitions and the aggressiveness of Russia. Russia has decided that it's all in Syria, and they've also decided who they want to see become president of the United States, too, and it's not me. I've stood up to Russia. I've taken on Putin and others.
Yeah, right. You sold him uranium through the Clinton Foundation via the goddamn Secretary of State. Let me tell you something. People need to watch Clinton Cash the movie after this or tomorrow. Clinton Cash, it's for free on YouTube. This woman used her Secretary of State position to gain wealth via the Clinton Foundation.
To investigate for crimes, war crimes committed by the Syrians and the Russians and try to hold them accountable.
Thank you, Secretary Clinton.
First of all,
Mr.
she
Trump.
was there as Secretary of State with the so-called line in the sand, which...
No, I wasn't. I was gone. I hate to interrupt you, but
you were in contact, excuse me.
At some point we need
you
to
were
do
in
some
total contact
fact-checking
with the White House. And perhaps, sadly, Obama probably still listened to you. I don't think he'd be listening very much anymore. Obama draws the line in the sand. It was laughed at all over the world what happened. Now, with that being said, she talks tough against Russia. But our nuclear program has fallen way behind, and they've gone wild with their nuclear program. Not good. Our government shouldn't have allowed that to happen. Russia is new in terms of nuclear. We are old, we're tired, we're exhausted in terms of nuclear. A very bad thing. Now, she talks tough. She talks really tough against Putin and against Assad. She talks in favor of the rebels. She doesn't even know who the rebels are. You know, every time we take rebels, whether it's in Iraq or anywhere else, we're arming people. And you know what happens? They end up being worse than the people. Look at what she did in Libya with Gaddafi. Gaddafi's out. It's a mess. And by the way, ISIS has a good chunk of their oil. I'm sure you probably have heard that. It was a disaster. Because the fact is, almost everything she's done in foreign policy has been a mistake.
This is absolutely accurate, 100% accurate.
Just take a look at Russia and look at what they did this week, where I agree she wasn't there, but possibly she's consulted. We sign a peace treaty. Everyone's all excited. Well, what Russia did with Assad, and by the way, with Iran, who you made very powerful with the dumbest deal perhaps I've ever seen in the history of deal making, the Iran deal with $150 billion, with the $1.7 billion in cash, which is enough cash to fill up this room. But look at that deal. Iran now and Russia are now against us. So she wants to fight. She wants to fight for rebels. There's only one problem. You don't even know who the rebels are.
Mr. Trump,
So
Mr.
what's
Trump,
the purpose?
your 2 minutes
and one thing
is
I
up.
have to say,
Your 2 minutes
I don't
is
like
up.
Assad at all, but Assad is killing ISIS. Russia is killing ISIS, and Iran is killing ISIS. And those three have now lined up because of our weak foreign policy.
It's an absolute fact. I just said that. I just freaking said that.
What would you do about Syria and the humanitarian crisis in Aleppo? And I want to remind you what your running mate said. He said provocations by Russia need to be met with American strength, and that if Russia continues to be involved in airstrikes along with the Syrian government forces of Assad, the United States of America should be prepared to use military force to strike the
Hillary's wearing down.
of the Assad regime.
Okay. He and I haven't spoken, and I disagree.
You disagree with your running mate.
I think we have to knock out ISIS. Right now, Syria is fighting ISIS. We have people that want to fight both at the same time. But Syria is no longer Syria. Syria is Russia, and it's Iran, who she made strong, and Kerry and Obama made into a very powerful nation and a very rich nation very, very quickly, very, very quickly. I believe we have to get ISIS. We have to worry about ISIS before we can get too much more involved. She had a chance to do something with Syria. They had a chance, and that was the line.
What do you think will happen if Aleppo falls?
I think Aleppo is a disaster humanitarian-wise.
What do you think will happen if it falls?
I think that it basically has fallen, okay? It basically has fallen. Let me tell you something. You take a look at Mosul. The biggest problem I have with the stupidity of our foreign policy. We have Mosul. They think a lot of the ISIS leaders are in Mosul. So we have announcements coming out of Washington and coming out of Iraq.
Yeah, they were sending troops.
Mosul in 3 weeks.
I know. Give me a break.
All of these bad leaders from ISIS are leaving Mosul. Why can't they do it quietly? Why can't they do the attack?
Because we are running ISIS. The Obama administration, the CIA, NATO, they are running ISIS. That's why they are well armed. That's why they're well equipped. That's why they have uniforms. That's why they have rations and food and training.
How stupid is our country?
There are sometimes reasons the military does that. Psychological warfare.
I can't think of any.
It might be to help get civilians out.
And we have, look, I have 200 generals and admirals who endorse me. I have 21 Congressional Medal of Honor recipients who endorse me. We talk about it all the time. They understand. Why can't they do something secretively where they go in and they knock out the leadership? Why would these people stay there? I've been reading now
Tell
for
me
weeks.
what your
I've been reading
strategy
now
is.
for weeks about Mosul, that it's the harbor of where, between Raqqa and Mosul. This is where they think the ISIS leaders are. Why would they be staying? They're not staying there anymore. They're gone. Because everybody's talking about how Iraq, which is us with our leadership, goes in to fight Mosul. Now, with these 200 admirals and generals, they can't believe it. All I say is this: General George Patton, General Douglas MacArthur are spinning in their grave at the stupidity of what we're doing in the Middle East.
I have to concur, man, because it's a bloodbath. It's ridiculous. It's a humanitarian mess, and it's under the tutelage of the Obama administration, under the tutelage of the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, John Kerry.
Would you introduce the threat of U.S. military force beyond a no-fly zone against the Assad regime to back up diplomacy?
I would not use American ground forces in Syria. I think that would be a very serious mistake. I don't think American troops should be holding.
Yeah, but you'll send special forces to train, Al-Qaeda fighters to overthrow Gaddafi. You'll send advisors out there into Egypt to overthrow Mubarak, right?
Enablers and trainers in Iraq, which has had some positive effects, are very much in our interests. And so I do support what is happening. But
what would you do differently than President Obama is doing?
Martha, I hope that by the time I hope by the time I am president that we will have pushed ISIS out of Iraq. I do think that there is a good chance that we can take Mosul. And, Donald says he knows.
Give me a break. You people need to understand this, that, ISIS is our creation, all right? And, for Hillary Clinton to suggest that
Russia, and I don't even like the Ruskies, okay? You know that. I don't even like the Ruskies, but Russia and Assad, which is a secularist Muslim. He is a Ba'athist, which is a secular Muslim party that has been systematically taken out in this Middle Eastern policy that has been implemented post 9/11. All right? You mean to tell me that a Ba'athist and a Ruski are going to be fighting for the Wahhabist Islamic State? That is a lie. That is an outright lie.
Partners in Syria as well as Iraq. And I know there's a lot of concern about that in some circles, but I think they should have the equipment they need so that Kurdish and Arab fighters on the ground.
Oh, now they're bringing in the Kurds. Remember, I've always talked about the Kurds. They never armed the Kurds. They don't even back up the Kurds.
Over, and you don't stop her. When I go 1 second over, it's like
you had many answers.
It's really very interesting.
We've got a question over here.
Yeah, no kidding. You disgusting, despicable CIA-ran pieces of moderated crap.
My question is, do you believe you can be a devoted president to all the people in the United States?
That question begins for Mr. Trump.
Absolutely. I mean, she calls our people deplorable, a large group, and irredeemable. I will be a president for all of our people, and I'll be a president that will turn our inner cities around and will give strength to people and will give economics to people and will.
This is a no-brainer here. Give me a beer.
Perhaps the greatest disaster trade deal in the history of the world, not at this country. It stripped us of manufacturing jobs. We lost our jobs. We lost our money. We lost our plants. It is a disaster.
We certainly did, man. There's no jobs. The money is going out of the country.
And by the way, she lied because it turned out that she did
$50 billion plus going to Mexico, $550 billion going to China.
Okay, and she lied, but she's lied about a lot of things. I would be a president for all of the people, African Americans, the inner cities. Devastating what's happening to our inner cities. She's been talking about it for years. As usual, she talks about it, nothing happens. She doesn't get it done.
And not to mention, we've had a black president, and race relations have gotten worse. The inner cities have gotten worse. Black folks have gotten poorer. Latinos have gotten poorer for the lack of work available. I'm telling you this right now, folks. This is not a joke. We have been under the idealism of liberalism long enough, and it has not worked. It has not worked.
It's, and I've been saying at big speeches where I have 20 and 30,000 people, what do you have to lose? It can't get any worse. And she's been talking about the inner cities for 25 years. Nothing's going to ever happen. Let me tell you, if she's president of the United States, nothing's going to happen. It's just going to be talk. And all of her friends, the taxes we were talking about, and I would just get it by osmosis. She's not doing any me favors. But by doing all the others favors, she's doing me favors.
Mr. Trump, thank you.
But I will tell you, she's all talk. It doesn't get done. All you have to do is take a look at her Senate run. Take a look at upstate New York.
Your 2 minutes is up. Secretary Clinton,
it turned out to be a disaster.
You have 2 minutes, Secretary Clinton.
Well, 67% of the people voted to reelect me when I ran for my second term, and I was very proud and very humbled by that. Mr. Carter,
that's a district that doesn't vote outside its incumbent. That particular district was dominated by Monahan. I don't know if y'all remember that senator, but he had been in that seat for freaking 30 years. So these are obviously people that just vote Democrat down the line, and then they get out of the voting booth. So that's nothing to take to the bank there, Hillary Rodham, you stupid, dumb imbecile.
In schools and in the criminal justice system. I work to make sure that kids with disabilities could get a public education, something that I care very much about.
And by the way, the only reason that she got elected being a carpetbagger into New York is because Moynihan endorsed her when he retired in the Senate.
So I have a deep devotion, to use your absolutely correct word, to making sure that every American feels like he or she has a place in our country.
Yeah, like super predators, right? Like the bill that your husband passed, huh?
A lot of people are worried that maybe they wouldn't have a place in Donald Trump's America.
A crime bill back in the early 90s.
Invite me, and One woman wrote me about her
in prison most of Black America
from Ethiopia when he was a toddler. He's 10 years old now. It's the only country he's ever known. And he listens to Donald on TV, and he said to his mother one day, will he send me back?
One of these stories. Yeah, I know a boy. Talked to him, and he looked at me and with his, with his tears in his eyes, and said, "Why? Why can't you? Shut up."
In fact, teachers and parents are calling it the Trump effect. Bullying is up. A lot of people.
Oh, good God! Bullying is a shut up. Shut your mouth.
Foremost, I will do everything I can to reach out to everybody: Democrats, Republicans, Independents, people across our country. If you don't vote for me, I still want to be your president.
Oh, yeah, right. That's why you want to take down the alternative media. That's why you want to take down people like me, you disgusting, despicable human being.
You said that half of Donald Trump's supporters are, quote, deplorables, racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic. You later said you regretted saying half. You didn't express regret for using the term deplorables. To Mr. Carter's question, how can you unite a country if you've written off tens of millions of Americans?
Well, within hours, I said that I was sorry about the way I...
Oh, now she's sorry. Now it's okay for her to make a mistake. You see how liberals are? It's okay for her to make a mistake. Somebody else makes a mistake. No, we're going to keep rubbing it in your face. Typical liberal nonsense, man. Hypocritical, double-speak crap. Why is anybody still voting for this disgusting piece of trash?
Not just women, but all Americans, all kinds of Americans. And what he has said about African Americans and Latinos, about Muslims, about POWs, about immigrants, about people...
POWs. She's talking about John McCain. Hey, you all saw that tweet of the Tokyo Rose broadcast that John McCain, that just got unearthed. This idiot was broadcasted talking favorably in a pro-Viet Cong propaganda broadcast in North Vietnam, and the only reason that we've got it is because a researcher went into the National Archives and found it, and it was mismarked.
We have a very divided nation. You look at Charlotte, you look at Baltimore, you look at the violence that's taking place in the inner cities, Chicago. You take a look at Washington, D.C. We have an increase in murder within our cities, the biggest in 45 years. We have a divided nation because people like her, and believe me, she has tremendous hate in her heart. And when she said deplorables, she meant it. And when she said irredeemable, they're irredeemable. You didn't mention that. But when she said they're irredeemable, to me that might have been even worse.
She said some of them are irredeemable.
She's got tremendous hatred. And this country cannot take another 4 years of Barack Obama, and that's what you're getting with her.
Mr. Trump, let me follow up with you. In 2008, you wrote in one of your books that the most important characteristic of a good leader is discipline. You said if a leader doesn't have it, quote, he or she won't be one for very long. In the days after the first debate, you sent out a series of tweets from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., including one that told people to check out a sex tape. Is that the discipline of a good leader?
No, it wasn't check out a sex tape. It was just take a look at the person that she built up to be this wonderful Girl Scout, who was no Girl Scout. By the way, just so you understand, when she said 3 o'clock in the morning, take a look at Benghazi. She said, who's going to answer the call at 3 o'clock in the morning? Guess what? She didn't answer because when Ambassador Stevens...
The question is that the discipline of a good leader?
600 times. Well, she said she was awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she also sent a tweet out at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I won't even mention that. But she said she'll be awake. Who's the famous thing? We're going to answer our call at 3 o'clock in the morning. Guess what happened? Ambassador Stevens sent 600 requests for help, and the only one she talked to was Sidney Blumenthal, who's her friend, and not a good guy, by the way. So, she shouldn't be talking about that. Now, tweeting happens to be a modern-day form of communication. I mean, you can like it or not like it. I have, between Facebook and Twitter, I have almost 25 million people. It's a very effective way of communication, so you can put it down.
I mean, no kidding, man. It's the new age, baby.
Communication.
It's taking people like you out of business, Anderson Cooper, you piece of crap.
No.
I'm shocked to hear that.
Well, it's not only my opinion, it's the opinion of many others, national security experts, Republicans, former Republican members of Congress. But it's in part because those of us who have had the great privilege of seeing this job up close and know how difficult it is, and it's not just because I watched my husband take a $300 billion deficit and turn it into a $200 billion surplus, and 23 million new jobs were created, and incomes went up for everybody.
Yeah, thanks to the technological revolution of the 90s. No thanks to any economic policy or anything that your husband did. So shut up.
And I was very proud that when I told him what the city needed, what we needed to recover, he said, "You've got it," and he never wavered. He stuck with me. And I have worked, and I admire.
I mean, at this point, I think that Donald Trump has been wiping the floor with Hillary Clinton here. Hillary Clinton is just saying the same old tired bureaucratic lines, bunch of nonsense.
Secretary Clinton, we're moving on. $13 trillion in family wealth was wiped out. We are back on the right track. He would send us back into recession with his tax plans.
Secretary Clinton, we are moving to an audience question. We're almost out of time. We have another. Mr. Trump, we're moving to an audience question.
It is our country
Mr. Trump,
has the
Secretary
slowest growth,
Clinton, we
and
want to get
jobs
to
are a
the audience.
disaster.
Thank you very much, both of you. We have another audience question. Beth Miller has a question for both candidates.
Good evening. Perhaps the most important aspect of this election is the Supreme Court justice. What would you prioritize as the most important aspect of selecting a Supreme Court justice?
I mean, is this really a question? We already know the difference between the two, you stupid fat broad.
Issues in this election.
Oh, Jesus. If you don't know what kind of a freaking Supreme Court justice, I mean, God. And these are undecided voters, for Christ's sake. These are the people that are holding up the line at a freaking fast food joint because they don't know if they want a freaking pickle and tomato and their freaking hamburger, for Christ's sake. They don't know if they want a cherry shake or a vanilla shake, for Christ's sake, man. Oh, I'm undecided. We know the difference between these two people when it pertains to freaking Supreme Court justice appointees. All right? I mean, give me a break. I mean, good the ignorance of this freaking country sometimes.
Supreme Court to understand that voting rights are still a big problem in many parts of our country, that we don't always do everything we can to make it possible for people of color and older people and young people to be able
this broad makes me sick. Damn it.
Stick with Roe v. Wade and a woman's right to choose, and I want a Supreme Court that will stick with marriage equality.
Stupid.
Now, Donald has put.
Give me the mic. Sorry, folks. She just makes me sick. Her lies, her bureaucratic lies, for Christ's sake, man. The regurgitation of pre-written garbage. It makes me sick. Why would anybody vote for this piece of garbage?
I want a Supreme Court that understands because you're wealthy and you can give more money to something doesn't mean you have any more rights.
Hey, Anderson, shut her up, you damn CIA piece of fruit bowl trash.
Clear views about what I want to see to kind of change.
Get her off. Get her out. Get her out of here.
Deeply that the Senate has not done its job, and they have not permitted a vote on the person that President Obama, a highly qualified person, they've not given him a vote to be able to have the full complement of 9 Supreme Court justices. I think that was a dereliction of duty. I hope that they will see their way to doing it, but if I am so fortunate enough as to be president, I will immediately move to make sure that we fill that. We have 9 justices.
Thank you, Secretary Clinton.
To work on behalf of our people.
Thank you. You're out of time, Mr. Trump.
Justice Scalia, great judge, died recently, and we have a vacancy. I am looking to appoint judges very much.
Look at her eyeballs. Her eyeballs are getting a little screwy. Old Hillary.
I'm looking for judges, and I've actually picked 20 of them so that people would see. Highly respected, highly thought of, and actually very beautifully reviewed by just about everybody. But people that will respect the Constitution of the United States. And I think that this is so important. Also, the Second Amendment, which is totally under siege by people like Hillary Clinton. They'll respect the Second Amendment and what it stands for, what it represents. So important to me. Now, Hillary mentioned something about contributions, just so you understand. So I will have in my race more than $100 million put in of my money, meaning I'm not taking all of this big money from all of these different corporations.
Of course, not like Hillary Rotten.
I'm putting in more than, by the time it's finished, I'll have more than $100 million invested. Pretty much self-funding mine. We're raising money for the Republican Party, and we're doing tremendously on the small donation, $61 average or so. I asked Hillary, why doesn't she make $250 million by being in office? She used the power of her office to make a lot of money. Why isn't she funding, not for $100 million, but why don't you put 10 or 20 or 25 or $30 million into your own campaign? It's $30 million less for special interest that will tell you exactly what to do. And it would really
was there a fly that just landed on Hillary Rotten? Is she?
Why aren't you putting some money in? You have a lot of it.
Is rigor mortis already coming in?
Because of the fact that you've been in office.
Look, there's a fly. Oh, look at it. Right? There's a fly on her freaking shirt. Look.
Why aren't you putting money into your own campaign? I'm just curious.
Well, thank you very much.
No, there's a fly. You see it? She got him. There's a fly. She's decomposing right before her eyes.
The Second Amendment.
She's attracting flies.
Background checks, and we should close the gun show loophole and close the online loophole.
Oh my God! Did you all saw that, right? She had a fly. She is attracting flies.
About energy policy, Ken.
Fios is not cable. We're wired differently, which means you can get the fastest internet available with equal upload and download speeds from 50 to 500 megs. So you can upload 200 photos before your favorite song is finished. Click the ad and switch to Fios today to get our best offer ever.
What steps will your energy policy take to meet our energy needs?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Where the hell have you been, fat man, Ken Bone, for Christ's sake? Donald Trump says he's going to open up energy exploration. He is going to generate energy. He is going to make... Oh, jeez, these people are stupid.
Under absolute siege. The EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, is killing these energy companies. And foreign companies are now coming in, buying so many of our different plants, and then
we need domestic energy production. So not only we can light up our houses in America and bring our electric bills down, we need to be competitors on the world market to bring down our debt. Sell the energy on the world market to bring down our debt.
Wind and solar. And you look at our miners. Hillary Clinton wants to put all the miners out of business. There is a thing called clean coal. Coal will last for 1,000 years in this country. Now we have natural gas and so many other things because of technology. We have found over the last 7 years, we have found tremendous wealth right under our feet. So good, especially when you have $20 trillion in debt. I will bring companies back. They'll be able to compete. They'll make money. They'll pay off our national debt. They'll pay off our tremendous budget deficits, which are tremendous. But we are putting our energy companies out of business. We have to bring back our workers. You take a look at what's happening to steel and the cost of steel, and China dumping vast amounts of steel all over the United States, which essentially is killing our steel workers and our steel companies. We have to...
And the steel is substandard. Just Google up drywall from China. It's killing people.
That they are putting our energy companies out of business. And all you have to do is go to a great place like West Virginia or places like Ohio, which is phenomenal, or places like Pennsylvania, and you see what they're doing to the people, miners and others in the energy business. It's a disgrace.
Your time is up. Thank you,
It's an absolute disgrace.
Secretary Clinton, 2 minutes.
Well, that was very interesting. First of all, China is illegally dumping steel in the United States, and Donald Trump is buying it to build his buildings, putting steel workers and American steel plants out of business. That's
she's completely denying the fact that regulations that are leftist in nature are out-regulating the business out of business. And the only way you can get raw material at this point in time is from foreign producers. America doesn't produce that much anymore, folks, and that's what Donald Trump is trying to bring in. That's what he's arguing. We need to do some domestic production, whether it's energy, whether it's our own electronics, whether it's our own furniture, whether whatever capacity, steel, coal. We need to produce something again. That's what creates jobs. That's what creates wealth. And with jobs and wealth
creates integrity. People have skin in the game. People have something to live for Christ's sake. When they are subjected to the chains of bondage of government entitlements, they have nothing to live for. They're walking around already half dead. They've already sold their souls, for heaven's sake, folks. And this is the difference between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Donald Trump wants jobs. Donald Trump wants to create wealth. Donald Trump wants Americana to be a form of life again. This woman that's speaking right now is doing nothing but the bidding of international bureaucratic institutionalists, the UN, NATO, and all these other bureaucratic institutionalists, and this is what has to be stopped.
From the very beginning of this campaign, who had a plan to help us revitalize coal country, because those coal miners and their fathers and their grandfathers.
Oh, this broad's trying to claim like she cares about coal, for Christ's sake. Get out of here. Get out.
Walk away from them. So we've got to do something for them. But the price of coal is down worldwide. So we have to look at this comprehensively, and that's exactly what I have proposed. I hope you will go to HillaryClinton.com and look at my entire policy.
One more audience question.
We've sneaked in one more question.
All right. Let's see what they sneaked in. Jesus.
My question to both of you is, regardless of the current rhetoric, would either of you name one positive thing that you respect in one another?
No. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for it. No.
Mr. Trump, would you like to go first?
Well, I certainly will, because I think that's a very fair and important question. Look, I respect his children. His children are incredibly able and devoted, and I think that says a lot about Donald. I don't agree with nearly anything else he says or does, but I do respect that, and I think that is something
I hope Donald Trump says, I respect how she's able to get away with crime. Come on, Donald.
I believe that.
Come on. Say that's her biggest accomplishment. Hit her in the gusto. All right? Grab her by the pussy.
So conflict-oriented, so intense, because there's a lot at stake. This is not an ordinary time, and this is not an ordinary election. We are going.
Come on, say that you respect how she was able to get away with crime, Donald. Come on, man. Come on.
4 or 8 years, but because of some of the important decisions we have to make here at home and around the world, from the Supreme Court to energy and so much else. And so there is a lot at stake. It's one of the most consequential elections that we've had. And that's why I've tried to put forth specific policies and plans, trying to get it off of the personal and put it on to what it is I want to do.
Oh, yeah, right. That's why you unearthed these tapes, the grabber by the pussy tapes and all this other stuff. And oh, yeah, but you want to take the high ground, right, you dumb skank? Oh, yeah, you want to take the high ground. Shut up, you liar, you disgusting, despicable, crustated liar.
Well, I consider her statement about my children to be a very nice compliment. I don't know if it was meant to be a compliment, but it is a great. I'm very proud of my children, and they've done a wonderful job, and they've been wonderful, wonderful kids. So I consider that a compliment. I will say this about Hillary. She doesn't quit. She doesn't give up. I respect that. I tell it like it is. She's a fighter. I disagree with much of what she's fighting for. I do disagree with her judgment in many cases, but she does fight hard, and she doesn't quit, and she doesn't give up, and I consider that to be a very good trait.
Thanks to both of you.
Oh, Jesus, don't end it in a positive, man. Come on. Should have chopped her in the jugular. What are you doing, Trump? Good God.
October 19th for the final presidential debate that will take place at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Nevada, that's great. Harry Reid's country, for Christ's sake. You know what? Jesus Christ. All right, now this is the end of the debate, folks, and, oh, now she shakes his hand.
Presidential debate, Donald Trump and Hillary.
You know what? Yeah, just shut up. I don't want to hear the commentary of these talking heads, for heaven's sake. Now we've got Donald Trump approaching his sons, approaching his family. shaking Ivanka's hand. Here he comes, see if he can get a decent embrace from Melania. He's got a decent embrace from Melania going on. Let me tell you, at first reaction of the debate, folks, I have to say that, I'm actually rather impressed with Trump, to say the least, and the reason is because this, he went after her in the capacity that I had expected. I was hoping that he would bring up certain issues. Bill Clinton looked certainly a little uncomfortable, to say the least. He had Hillary Clinton flustered at many times. We do have to admit, folks, that there was an attempt at trying to corner Trump in certain capacities in the moderators questioning, and they're interjecting, that sort of thing. But for the most part, I think that Donald Trump did fairly well. Whenever Hillary Clinton decided to come out and decide to talk in response to any of these questions, I personally believe that, she was flustered. I mean, she was beyond flustered, for heaven's sake, man. I mean, she looked a little stumped, for Christ's sake, to say the least. She looked stumped. Oh, my God. Anyway, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. I'm telling you this right now. I think Donald Trump is winner hands down, 3 against 1, no matter what you say about it. I mean, there was at least, I hope at least 50 million, 40 million people were tuning in, undecided voters. Hillary Clinton was just saying a bunch of regurgitated bureaucratic lines, bureaucratic nonsense, for Christ's sake. To be completely honest with you, I think that Donald Trump hit it on the head. All right? Hit it on the head, for Christ's sake. Anyway, let me go ahead and open up another beer here, and we're going to open up the phone lines. I want to hear what you have to say. I personally believe that Donald Trump is victorious, to say the least. I think that this was a great debate. He went after the elements in which he had to go after. The only thing that I could personally criticize of Trump was that high note that he tried to go at the end. And, he's trying to walk that political tightrope. And in my personal opinion, because Hillary Clinton decided to say something nice to Donald Trump, it would be negative in some of these undecided voters if he was to go at her damn jugular continuously. So I think that's what that's what the reaction was all about. But I honestly believe that Donald Trump beat the living bejesus out of Hillary Clinton. I'm very, very happy with this particular debate. It's at points, at times, I thought that maybe he was going to go a little bit more statesman-like he was doing last time. We don't need statesman-like activity at this point in time. We are at war, folks. We are at war, and it is time for us to start understanding that we need to start taking this serious. I mean, let me tell you what's going to break tomorrow, okay? What's going to break tomorrow, and this is, of course, I got to give credit to credit's due. Infowars.com broke this story earlier today. What's coming out is a lawsuit that's going to be in tomorrow's papers, in which the lawsuit alleges, and it goes back to this Jeffrey Epstein situation, folks. Remember this bogus lawsuit that they tried to initiate about 8 months ago, 10 months ago, something in that capacity? Well, they are going to bring it back up, folks. There are now Jane Doe, Tiffany Doe, and a Joan Doe that are now filing lawsuits in, I think, upstate New York, I believe. I don't know if it was upstate, but it's a New York district court, and they are going to claim that Donald Trump actually tag-teamed a teenage girl with Jeffrey Epstein, folks. This is what's going to come out tomorrow, and I'm telling you, this is classic hit piece. They released the Grab Her by the Pussy tape, all right? Here Monday, they're going to throw out the whole they're going to throw the Jeffrey Epstein gangbanging a pre-teenager in the paper tomorrow. So look, be expecting this stuff, all right? Seriously, be expecting this type of disgusting trash
coming out of the mainstream media, and that's why I'm telling folks, man, we got to be prepared. You understand that? I mean, we got to be prepared, for heaven's sake. So that's why I'm telling everybody, it is a war going on here, and it is time to start identifying that, and it's time for us to start acting like that, to say the least. So you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. All right, since it is a war going on here, folks, all right, and it is, all right, this is an information war going on, to say the goddamn least, all right? It's an information war going on. It is time for us to start raising up and start doubling down on some of these things that we've been talking about doing. I'm talking about going out there. I'm talking about going old school propaganda if necessary, man. You know what I'm saying? Old school propaganda, for heaven's sake. I'm serious. I mean, that's what we're going to have to do, folks. Old school propaganda. And I'm hoping that many of the people within the capitalist army are going out there and literally they're going to start posting posters of Hillary Rotten Clinton. So I'm personally believing tomorrow, folks, we are going to see this breaking tomorrow. And I think that everybody needs to be very aware of it, and that's why we got to keep doubling down. We got to post posters, another chalkening, whatever the case might be. This is what we have to do, folks. All right, this is what we have to do. Anyway, folks, let me go ahead and take some callers here, folks. I want to hear from you. What do you have to say post debate? Give me a call right now, 425-390-6146. What do you think? What exactly do you think about the debate here, right? How about area code 619? What do you think about the debate tonight?
Hey, what's up, Ghost? This is Astro.
Hey, how you doing, Astro? Good to hear from you, man. What do you think about the debate going on here?
I thought it was pretty good. I think Donald Trump won in this one. And I did see that kind of what Anderson Cooper was doing. He would give Hillary more time than Donald Trump. He wouldn't really until Donald Trump said something. That's when I heard Anderson Cooper start enforcing the time limit. And I also saw that Donald Trump, while Hillary was talking, he was going in walking in circular movements. That's kind of like he thought in his head, oh, I'm done with this bitch. So that's why he was heated. I think Donald Trump was heated when Hillary.
Oh, well, to say the least. I mean, there was 3-on-1 as it relates to Trump. I mean, Anderson Cooper was obviously acting like some CIA plant that he is. Martha Raddatz the same way. And I think there was maybe 2 times in which Raddatz interrupted Hillary Clinton. Everything was all Trump. We can't do that. Trying to make themselves part of the debate. Never in the school of debate did I ever see where it said anywhere in the debate books that the moderator is a part of the debate and can ask rebuttal questions. I never thought I'd hear that, but I'm glad you saw that. So you think that Trump won hands down?
Yeah, hands down. His comments, his comebacks on Hillary Clinton were top notch. They made me laugh. I know they're breaking Facebook or social media. They're trending right now. And yeah, they're hilarious. He just got he didn't go full on, but he if it was from 1% to 100%, he probably got 75% through the Hillary's joke.
No, I think you're absolutely right, Asho. I think that he absolutely he could have gotten further. He could have gotten more nastier, but of course he is his gums are still bleeding with independent voters as it relates to this Trump tapes thing, which I don't think it hurts. In my personal opinion, Asho, I think that the way people are going to interpret these Trump tapes is the same way people interpreted Bill Clinton back in the 90s, and the American public just kind of passed that off, all his indiscretions, all his lies. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Monica Lewinsky, all that crap. They were able to just kind of bypass that because, well, at least he's honest. Or whatever the hell. I mean, I don't know. I know you were not around at that particular time there, Asho, but it was a bewildering time in American history
where everybody in America was justifying this disgusting piece of garbage. I can't believe it. All right.
Yeah. I saw. As soon as he saw that. As soon as he said about the stuff about Bill Clinton, and then the camera zoomed over to Bill Clinton, you could just tell that Bill Clinton was pissed off. He did not want to be there, and
no, absolutely not, man. Hey, thank you very much, Asho, for calling in, man. We're going to try to take a lot of people's calls here. Very good insight from Asho. Once again, he thinks that hands down Donald Trump won. I appreciate you tuning in with me, man, and, I think you're right. I think he could have gotten a little bit more hasty, a little bit more nasty, but didn't because, you're still trying to win votes, baby. You know what I mean? Still trying to win votes, for Christ's sake, all right? And according to my friend Gio here, it says the Clinton News Network is in full smear mode with with Anderson Cooper, David Axelrod, and Jake Tapper. And lest we forget, folks, David Axelrod was the Karl Rove of the Obama campaign in 2008, I believe in 2012. So, I mean, you couldn't get any more biased than this piece of trash, all right? And then, of course, Jake Tapper, him and his biases of late, for Christ's sake. I mean, give me a break, all right? Give me a goddamn break. Anyway, I want to continue on, folks. I want to hear from you once again. 425-390-6146 is the number to call. I want to hear from you. What do you think about the debates? Do you think Hillary Clinton won, for heaven's sake? All right, I mean, I want to hear from you right now. We're taking callers here, 425-390-6146, all right? And lines are open, so if you want to chime in, if you want to give your opinion, well, by God, go ahead and do so, all right? So let's go ahead and take some more callers here, folks. Once again, I am here with the wife. Here's Templeton over here. We all watch the debates. So let's go ahead and let's take some more callers here. How about 520? What's going on? You're on the horn.
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing? Good to hear from you.
The chefist.
How you doing, Chefist? Good to hear from you, man. What'd you think about this debate?
Good, man. There's so much to go over here. Number one, and what I mean the man, Donald Trump, clicked on every talking point. He did everything he didn't do in the first debate. He did everything, and he put those ladies that were abused by Bill Clinton out in front, which disturbed Hillary. She was clearly triggered. I'm going to tell you what. I have a young daughter. She's 8 years old. Only 8 years old, but she's very intrigued by politics. She was listening to me on your live broadcast. Guess what she said when she heard Hillary talk? Guess what she said?
What'd you say?
Triggered.
Oh, man, at 8 already, man. They already know the word triggered at 8 years old. Oh, my God.
She said, Dad, Hillary's triggered. Oh, my God. That says it right there. If an 8-year-old can sum it all up in one word, triggered, you know what happened tonight. Now, look, I'm not going to monopolize everything. Ghost, you had the best. I listened to Alex Jones on the last debate. It was disgusting. I mean, I didn't want to listen to it. He didn't let anyone talk. It was all about him. You let people talk. You did it right. And my daughter said, wow, who's that? I said, that's a friend of mine. And he goes, what's his name? I don't know his name, but he goes by Ghost. And you know what? He's doing it right. That's right. And you know what? I'm here for you. I'm going to get off now because I know lots of people want to call in. But my daughter, 8 years old, said Hillary Clinton was triggered.
Unbelievable, Chefist. Hey, man, thank you very much for calling. You want to give a shout-out to anybody or anything of that nature?
No, I want to give a shout-out to you and Sergeant Yoda, who's always been there. There's been some trolls in the inner circle who have said they don't like me. That's okay. I'm willing to make bygones be bygones. Sergeant Yoda's always been there. Trump and Capitalist has always been there. There's others, I'm sorry if I don't mention your name. There's others that have said bad things about me, but I'm here for you always. you need anything, I'm always here for you. No matter what, I'm here for you because you know what? And I'm not going to tell anyone this. Well, I'm going to tell you this. I am a son of the revolution. My family came here 30 years after the Mayflower, almost 400 years. I've been here since the beginning. We're not multimillionaires or anything, but we have been here proud Americans. God bless you, Ghost. Keep it going, brother.
Thank you very much, Sheffis. I really appreciate your kind words, and I really appreciate your commentary. I also have to agree with you. I think that Trump hit the nail on the head, especially bringing out the victims of the sexual abuse of Bill Clinton. I mean, you know, your daughter knowing triggered at 8 years old, that just goes to show you, you know, the word. I mean, the power of the word all of a sudden. I mean, triggered, you know, oh, she's triggered. You're damn right she was triggered, all right? She didn't even want to look the direction of Juanita Broderick, Kathleen Willie, Paula Joe. She didn't want to look. She didn't want to bother. You want to know why, folks? Because if everybody who saw that actually does the research and realizes that this woman not only enabled Bill Clinton to do this continuously, and let me tell you, Bill Clinton abused women sexually and physically on a consistent basis, all right? Hillary, in turn, her and her goons would emotionally and mentally abuse the women that literally came out and spoke against the sexual abuse of Bill Clinton. And you see, that's what people need to focus on. That's what people need to, I mean, literally, we need to put it in people's faces, all right? I mean, this is something that Bill Clinton actually did. I mean, did you see his face, for Christ's sake? He was like, oh, my God, I can't believe he went there. Oh, my God, I don't know what to do. Let me just look here and look stupid. I mean, give me a break, Bill. All right, we know you're a goddamn disgusting, despicable rapist, all right? Everybody knows it. They're saying it all over the media. They're saying it at all the damn stump speeches at Democrats that they're supposed to be promoting your wife. All right, they're saying it all over the place, all right? So anyway, let's continue going. What's going on to Trump and capitalists, man? What's your insight on this particular debate, sir?
Good afternoon, good evening, Ghost, my bad, and good evening, Chats. How are you all doing?
Hey, man, not too bad, man. Everybody seems to have been enjoying the debate. I think that he's won it. I think that it was a decent debate. I thought that he could have gone a little bit more lower, but at the same time, you're trying to win votes. You're trying to win those undecideds. So what did you think?
Oh, definitely. It was a big Trump win tonight. It was a big Trump win all around, and I think Clinton had a completely disastrous night. Let me tell you why. Number one, Clinton was unable to recover from the devastating attacks that Trump had tonight. And what this is that basically Trump just went after on so many issues, especially the email servers, Bill Clinton's past, even touched on the foundation a little bit. And she was unable to come back to herself and basically try to answer those questions with a good answer. So basically what happened is that she let these attacks get to her and unfortunately bring her performance down tonight. Number two, Trump was able to answer specific policy questions with specific details. Hillary was only able to use the emotional impact and not able to offer any specific details on her policies. Number three, Trump basically was everything that was supposed to be. Basically, he went after the jugular of Clinton when he needed to. He was consistent with his policies. He was sophisticated. He was very good tonight. The only thing I disagree with is that basically Trump did have a nice closing tonight. Even though I do agree he could have gone after her a little bit more, it was to win votes, and I can understand that.
No, you're absolutely correct, Trump, and that's why you have to reevaluate it. Just the first glance, I personally would have went low there, but Donald Trump, he's thinking politically. And, of course, he's just adapting to what Hillary Clinton did there at the end. She gave him a compliment. So, I mean, it's only fitting that he did it in the eyes of the voter. One thing that I did like is that he promises that when he is president, when he is president, that he is going to appoint a special prosecutor into looking into the email scandal. And that flustered her very, very generously, to say the least, because then that makes it, that puts an incentive for people that hate Hillary Clinton because of the Bernie Sanders situation, because of whatever reasoning that is against Hillary Clinton, but they're not on board with Trump. They're going to go on board with Trump just based upon that statement right there, that he is going to appoint a special prosecutor to investigate this and literally throw her in prison. And she looked a little flustered with that. I thought that was a great, probably the highlight of the debate. What do you think?
Everything from the first 45 minutes that Trump said when going after Hillary Clinton was basically the high point of the debate. And also a couple of high points were during his policy speeches where he labeled specific details and described how to fix them directly. Clinton was just very broad. She was very vague. She was all over the place tonight.
Yeah, well, that's typical of these disgusted liberals, just regurgitated pre-written lines, man.
It's obvious that Trump practiced. It's obvious that Hillary did not, or she had too much practice and was watered down. But basically, the only thing that I can really summarize up tonight, and the big point, is that Trump completely destroyed Hillary in this debate with all those mentions of the Foundation, WikiLeaks, Bill's sexual past, you name it. It was a complete washout.
And look, just based upon the trends on Twitter, you can tell that the majority of America were watching this. I mean, there was a football game on during this debate. Unfortunately, there was also a goddamn WWE freaking pay-per-view, which seems to be still trending at this point in time. So, that probably didn't penetrate that demographic. But I look at it on the bright side. Those people that are probably attending that particular event are probably Trump supporters anyway, because McMahon and Linda McMahon, they're Trump supporters. So in my opinion, I think that the majority of America really did tune in. Everything is literally trending about this debate on Twitter right now. Everything. I mean, with the exception of WWE No Mercy, everything is trending in relation to the debate. Donald is trending. The word debate is trending. Hashtag, no, there is no hashtag. That's just a stupid WWE. Hillary is trending. Ken Bone, that stupid moron. I think I made a comment about him during the commentary. Lincoln, Anderson, hashtag Obamacare, Bernie, and Bill are trending as of right now on Twitter.
Right, definitely. And Trump tomorrow, a lot of people are going to find out about this. The ones that did not listen to the debate tonight are certainly going to hear about it tomorrow.
I hear you, man. Hey, you want to give a shout out there? I want to take a couple more callers here. I want to hear what people say. Maybe we can find a Hillary supporter here.
Sure. Shout outs to 727 caller. Shout out to the OG Capitalist Army chat room, and shout out to everybody who listened to the debate tonight and had a great impact from it, had great substance from it. So thank you very much for having me on, and God bless America, and see you on Monday.
All right, man. Thank you very much, Trump and Capitalist. Really appreciate the commentary here. Let's continue going on. I want to hear from you, 425-390-6146. I'm going to try to squeeze in as many callers as I can. I think we got the Teutonic Plague in the house. What's going on with the Teutonic Plague? What do you think about the debate, man?
Ghost, first and foremost, I'd like to say what a pleasure it is to be back on the show. What's going on? Happy Spontaneous Sunday.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. What's going on with your views, your perspective on this particular debate? Do you think that Donald Trump convinced enough people to start doing research, and I'm thinking based on the trends maybe, but do you think he sealed the deal here?
I absolutely and sincerely believe that Donald Trump won this debate. I think that this debate, as well as the third debate, it's all a formality. Trump has already won this election. You know it and I know it, so who are we trying to bullshit? I put out a tweet saying, and I quote, hashtag Trump won, and hashtag tonight's debate, and we all know it, at Real Donald Trump, and I tweeted it also at you, and in the first 15 minutes alone, I've gotten 23 retweets and 44 likes on that tweet. And I gotta say, it was an excellent fucking debate. I love the fact that Donald Trump went right at Hillary Clinton's jugular. and just he's reeling them in, Ghost. He's reeling them in. And also, I made some money this weekend, so if you keep those Ghost autographs up tomorrow, you can expect me to buy one, and I'm going to frame that. So, Team Ghost all the way. Go Trump.
Hey, man, thank you very much. Appreciate the commentary. And, yes, folks, for you folks that are just unaware of this, and I want to thank Teutonic Plate for bringing this up, the Ghost autographs are back up for sale by demand, all right? By demand. And if you want to get to them, go ahead and put in your browser right now, ghost.market. That's ghost.market. It's only going to be up for a limited time, folks, all right? I'm not trying to be a competitor, with the engineer. And the engineer isn't here right now. Who the hell knows where he's at? He's probably, I don't know, what the hell does he like to do? You know, he likes to go to play bingo or something. I don't know what the hell he likes to do. But anyway, folks, if you want to go ahead and partake in that, a lot of people have received their autograph, their numbered autograph. They've appreciated them. I've retweeted them. I want to thank you folks for posting the photos of them. And once again, if you want to go ahead and partake in that, go ahead and do so. Anyway, let's continue on with the calls here, folks, because I want to hear what people have to say. Maybe, we'll come across a Hillary supporter. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. I think we got Robert Xbox on the horn. What's going on to Robert Xbox?
Hey, man. Hey, Ghost. How you doing?
How you doing, man? What'd you think about this debate?
I loved it. I love the way I love the way Trump composed himself tonight. I thought how he came in soft just to win all those voters. Because I'll tell you right now, my ex she hates Donald Trump, and she hates how he's so hard and everything. I've noticed that there's just a lot of people that are just soft, fragile, delicate little snowflakes, and they can't take any aggression whatsoever. So I think that won him over the past two debates with him softening his image a bit.
No, you're absolutely right. That's why I've been, even in the last debate, which people were critical of, and I thought that he did a fairly decent job. I broadcasted at that time that first of all, that was probably the most watched debate. So he was trying to appeal to folks that probably think he's crude, crass, vulgar, or whatever that is. Make him a little bit more friendly. Today was a little bit more get to the jugular, not too aggressive, wasn't screaming, basically putting the points and facts on the table and basically highlighting everything that he's going to do as president, while Hillary Clinton regurgitating a bunch of bureaucratic rhetorical nonsense, basically just drawing on with rhetorical jingoism, not getting to the facts of what actually she's going to do, what she has done, and moreover, she literally is just, she literally didn't know what to say, in my opinion, just based upon her responses half the time.
I know, for real. We all know what Hillary's going to do anyway, so just basically, if she gets elected, that's what I'm learning Russian for, so I can get the hell out of this fucking country. Pardon my French, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, hey, look, I'm going to die here, unfortunately. I'm not going to leave, but if Hillary Clinton is elected president, man, we're in some deep trouble. We're in some goddamn deep trouble. Anyway, hey. No, go ahead, man. Go ahead. What'd you say?
I said I'm too young for that, but thank you. Thank you for taking my call. Thanks for broadcasting this. I enjoyed the stream. My Twitter is at Reverend Friars or Robert Xbox, so anybody who wants to follow me there. Right.
All right, man. Hey, thank you very much, Robert Xbox. I really appreciate it. Once again, I want to hear from you, 425-390-6146. Very good commentary. It seems to be all pro-Trump from where I'm standing here because, good God. You know what I'm saying? Good God already. Trump won hands goddamn down. All right, we're going to take a few more callers here, folks, because I want to hear what people have to say. I think the deplorable troll is in the house. Are you there, sir?
Yes, sir. Hey, guys, it's the deplorable troll here. And I have to say,
how you
Trump
doing?
won this hands down.
Hands down. What do you think was the highlight in your opinion, sir?
I think the highlight is the fact that Hillary's rape victim, or not the rape victim of the rapist that Hillary first offended, was live tweeting the whole time.
Oh, really? Wow. Like one of the victims
Kathy,
there was live tweeting.
Kathy Shelton was live tweeting the whole damn time.
Unreal. I was unaware of this. What's the Twitter address so people can go and kind of recant with the timeline?
Let me see. It is at Kathy Shelton _
Fios is not cable. We're wired differently, which means you can get the fastest internet available with equal upload and download speeds from 50 to 500 megs. So you can upload 200 photos before your favorite song is finished. Click the ad and switch to Fios today to get our best offer ever. Fios is not cable. We're wired differently, which means you can get the fastest internet available with equal upload and download speeds from 50 to 500 megs. So you can upload 200 photos before your favorite song is finished. Click the ad and switch to Fios today to get our best offer ever.
At Kathy Shelton _ can you read a few, man? What she was saying? Go ahead, man.
Well, near the end, she said, "Thank you, Donald Trump, for standing up for me before my rapist defender, Hillary Clinton."
Yeah, because this was the case in which, and look, people can go to YouTube right now and listen to this conversation that she has with a journalist in which she talks about how she does some unscrupulous things and basically hides, if I'm not mistaken, if I can recant this, there's so much things to recant, that she basically made the girl's panties, and this was like an 11-year-old, 12-year-old girl that was raped by her client at the time, made the panties inadmissible based upon, some technicality as it related to forensics, and not to mention laughed at the fact that that her client passed a polygraph, and she laughed at the fact that that's what made me never believe in polygraphs again. So she actually laughed and thought it was a joyous thing getting her client, a molester of children, off based on a technicality. So that is out there, and that's what he's talking about, and that is the victim you're speaking of, correct?
Yes.
So I'm telling you, very serious issue. That was the biggest highlight. You panning to the rape victims, or the Juanita Broderick, Paula Jones, the woman that you just described, Kathleen Willey. That was your favorite.
Yeah, and especially the look on Bill's face is just absolutely priceless.
I can't believe that the producer even allowed that shot to go off on the air. I mean, he looked like, how am I supposed to react? I mean, he looked horrible. I mean, he looked horrible, man. Anyway, you want to give some shout-outs there, Deplorable Troll? Anybody out there on the internet?
Shout out to you. Shout out to you and the missus. Shout out to Trump and Capitalists, and shout out to the rest of the Capitalist Army tonight.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I didn't realize that the one of the ladies there that were one of the victims of the Clintons was actually live tweeting, so that's very interesting info. I got to go after the show and check out what she tweeted and what that was all about. Anyway, let's take some more callers here, man. I want to hear from you. What exactly do you have to say about this? Do you think that Trump won? Do you think Hillary Clinton won? Hell, do you think that the CIA agent Anderson Cooper won? You know what I mean? Do you think Raditz won? You know what I mean? How about 585? You're on the horn. What's going on, man?
Hey, Ghost. Just wanted to say I got a couple of points I wanted to go over real quick. I think that
Trump may have
lost. Yeah, thanks. I think Trump may have lost a couple of points with hardcore conservatives just for his interrupting a bit more than usual. I think he won with independents for really going after actually what she was saying and the substance, not just talking points. And I really think Hillary is going to go down in the polls with likely Democratic voters just based on her not giving anything of substance that we haven't heard time again.
Well,
and Yes.
Look, let me just interrupt you there. I thought that most conservatives that try to claim they're real conservative. Remember, I used to be a true conservative. I had true conservative radio. You know, and look, the conservative movement died in 2008 when John Turncoat McCain nominated Sarah Palin. Now, what I find very interesting is that the conservatives were willing to give a pass to Sarah Palin, basically flushing the conservative movement down the toilet with her daughter having a child, she's pregnant, child out of wedlock, all right? And everybody at the time, I was broadcasting. I mean, I was livid. I could not believe this. And now these goddamn conservatives have the audacity to sit here and try to pass judgment, even though the conservative movement was sold out back in 2008. And that's why you see the Republican establishment going after Trump, is because they are the same party as the Democrats. And that's what Trump represents, in my opinion, is a complete deviation from that two-party system.
Yeah,
are you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm here. I just wanted to say that I actually have a friend who is very, very close with the Clinton campaign, actually sending videos from her Hampton fundraiser, and it was all super elites. There was no one there of any actual substance that wasn't just independent, wasn't representing their own independent, motives. And yeah, even with her as a very close supporter of the Clinton campaign, she recognizes that the most ridiculous things that they've been posting about Trump and stuff like that. So I think the dissonance coming from her very close campaign is very telling about I guess the overall. Thanks for giving the commentary, Ghost. Appreciate it.
No problem, hey. Thank you very much for your insight. In my personal opinion, I think that, look, I know that maybe conservatives may be a little upset. Maybe conservatives need to stay home. How about that, conservatives? You're that upset about it, then just stay home. Because, to sit here and suggest that you're going to go vote for a Hillary Clinton or a Jill Stein or an idiot Gary Johnson who doesn't know an Aleppo, he doesn't know, what world leader he admires, he doesn't know his ass from his elbow, for Christ's sake. I guarantee you, he probably know where to find the nearest glory hole, this son of a bitch, if you want my personal opinion. Anyway, I think that Donald Trump really just knocked it out of the ballpark tonight. I mean, in my personal opinion, the thing that I thought that was, aside from the sexual abuse victims of Bill Clinton's past being there in the front row and them having to look at, they didn't want to look that direction. I don't know if you saw that. I think maybe Bill Clinton tried to, peek a periphery shot and be like, are they really there? Are they really there? No way. I'm serious, man. Anyway, I think hands down Donald Trump won the debate. There's no doubt about it. I mean, how anyone can vote for this woman after all this is beyond me. But then again, the American people are a bunch of morons. On aggregate, they're a bunch of morons. So I hope that this wakens some people up and starts realizing that, hey, this is a Clinton crime family, and we need to stop it. And we need to stop it now. How about area code 862? What's going on? What do you think about the debate tonight?
Once again, Trump strikes again. He is completely elegant in his speeches. Hillary is fucking drowning in her own pool of blood.
And that's figuratively and literally at this point in time. Did you see that fly that landed on her, for Christ's sake? She's attracting flies. I mean, what is the irony of that? She's attracting flies.
Technically, I didn't watch it, though. I was listening through your broadcast. But I happen to find that the questions are very laughable, in my opinion, at least most of them. And,
they were just ridiculous. They were pathetic. But go ahead, sir.
And with what you were saying about Donald Trump, that I don't think that he shouldn't at least. Well, I think he should at least try to not fully, but try to at least play it safe and with some of the questions regarding attacking Hillary Clinton. Because if he just keeps continuing with the attacks on Hillary Clinton, he just comes off as a complete asshole to the rest of the populace. Look, you're absolutely correct, and I think that's why he went a little bit right at her jugular, then stopped. He tried to kind of control the cadence of the debate. I thought that it was very appropriate, and I thought it was, at first I wanted him to go right after Hillary's jugular on that last question. But then when he saw the way Hillary reacted, he reacted accordingly.
I think he did fairly well. I think you're right that if he's off too crass on Hillary because she's a woman, there's a societal type of preconceived notion that you're being too mean to a woman and that sort of thing. And like you said, he comes off as an a-hole. But I thought he did a pretty good job. Yeah, go ahead, man.
It's because he was trying to make up for all the bad things that he's been like spewing from his mouth very recently. I'm not saying that Donald Trump is literally like a bad person compared to Bill Clinton in that regard, but everybody's perceiving him in such a negative way, and they don't do the same to Hillary Clinton. And well, most people do, but it's not coming from the mainstream media, which is very bad, and it signs off, and it comes off as a bias, and nobody's fucking realizing that.
No, you're absolutely right, sir, and thank you very much for your commentary. Very interesting commentary all around. We are seeing obviously an overwhelming support for Trump. We are seeing a little bit of criticism to Trump, but that's the whole beauty of it, man. That's why we have these conversations. That's why we do what we do. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of the press, and we need to reassert the First Amendment once again, all right, because they're coming after us. Thank you very much, sir, for your commentary. I really appreciate that. Let's continue going, shall we? How about 727, man? You're on the horn. What are you doing?
Hey, Ghost, nothing much. I've just been playing guitar. I listened to, the debate from your point of view. I just gotta say, they're trying to throw him off on the thing he said, a few years ago or whatever. And honestly, I don't think we should be focused on that, We need to be focused on these immigrants, if you get what I'm trying to say. We shouldn't really be focused on, women and stuff. And I'm pretty sure, they make more money than us because, pornography and stuff. That's my kind of point of view, if you get what I'm trying to say here.
Well, I get what you're trying to say. You're still a young man. But what we need to do is, you're absolutely right. We need to stop, talking about these, trivial red herring issues, and we need to start talking about the truth. Now, what you're trying to say is that women make more than men because the whole pay gap disparity is a farce. Look, and I'm going to explain this one more time to everybody. The reason that they make this statistic that women make less than men is because they take all women in the United States, which there are more women than men, and many of those women don't work. All right, many of them are housewives. Many of them, live with their husbands who take care of them. Many of them live with their parents. Many of them, there's a lot of different scenarios going on. Many of them are being taken care of by entitlements. Many of them are collecting welfare, so on and so forth. They are taking the number of women as a whole and comparing that to men as a whole, for Christ's sake. All right? And when they do that, that's when they get this disparity in income. But folks, the number is not in men and women as a whole. The number is in single men that aren't married, that don't have any children, and compare them with single women who are not married and have no children. You will find that women are making a tremendous amount more than men in that demographic. All right? Now, I'm talking about women that do not have children, that are not married, and that have a career. All right? So let me continue on here, shall we? I'm going to go ahead. We got about freaking 8 minutes left, so I'm going to try to get to as many people as I possibly can here because I want to hear what everybody has to say. This was a very exciting debate. I really loved it. I hope that you appreciated it. I'm going to try to get to as many people as possible. So if you're on the line and you are listening, bear with me here. I'm going to try to get to as many people here on the 8 minutes left. And when I call on you, if you could please be straight, brief, direct, I'd really appreciate it. All right, now let's see if we can get to a couple more callers here before we have to get the hell out of here. It's been a great debate, to say the least, folks. I'm going to be honest with you. It's been a great debate. Been a great goddamn debate. All right, let's get, how about area code 808? What's going on? What do you think about the debate?
Hey, Ghost. Good Capitalist here, man.
Hey, how you doing, Kahuna? What'd you think about this debate, man?
Well, all I'm going to say is simply, you ever notice that fly that's flying around Hillary?
No, that's what I said. I could not believe that she's attracted flies, for heaven's sake. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you why. Flies can sense shit. All that bullshit that's been coming out of her mouth, yeah, that fly senses it.
Well, yeah, no kidding. Or elements of rigor mortis is sending in, or she's a freaking vampire.
Yeah, you're telling me in there. Well,
No, I'm serious. Why else would why would she attract flies, for heaven's sake? I mean, seriously, come on.
Sure,
this debate is not happening. This debate is not happening in Sahara, Africa.
Yeah, no, I get the feeling she probably had a little accident right there.
Oh man, I never even thought about that. No kidding. She could have had an accident in her little Depends pamper. I never even thought about that, and that's why the fly's like, hey, let me at that. Let me have a piece of that. I'm serious. I never even thought about that. I never even thought about that, man. Oh, man, she couldn't hold it. That's why she was sitting a little uncomfortable, for Christ's sake, man. Oh, my God. Anyway, man, you want to give some shout-outs there, Kahuna?
Yeah, sure. Shout out to Teutonic Plague, to Karaskin, and to everyone in the inner circle, as well as the Capitalist Army, and shout out to you and your missus over there, man.
Hey, man, thank you very much, Kahuna. I really appreciate it. We got 5 minutes left. Let's see who else we got going on the horn here. Hey, we got somebody in San Antone. What's going on to the person in San Antone?
Hillary, standing low, arms clawing. With struggle, she exhales toxins. Flies gather as she melts in mortars. Trump, the paladin, knight of the light. He rides I steed, golden sword high. As he points his sword to the she-man, he chants her sins. As the air vibrates on his final word, Hillary implodes. Soon she resembles the asshole of a mewling ass. As it reaches to the size of a singularity, it explodes and creep splashes down and burns. Trump becomes a champion of the new age.
Wow, man! I didn't know we had a poet out here in San Antone, man. Hey, man, do you ever go to any of these little poet events? Well, first of all, is there any kind of poetry down here at all?
I don't know.
No, yeah, I don't know either. There ain't nothing. Hey, look, admit to me, all right, just real quick. There ain't nothing to do here, right, man? I mean, there's some things to do, but I mean, there really ain't nothing to do, right?
Absolutely nothing to do in San Antonio.
Oh, man, thank you very much for validating that. That makes me feel better, for Christ's sake, because I thought that, man, come on, there's got to be something to do out here. But no, man, the thing to do is go downtown and pay like $15 for freaking overpriced margaritas. That's what they, Jesus Christ. Anyway, folks, I'm going to continue going here. I'm going to take one more call before we close this out here, folks. Man, we got a lot of callers here for this evening. I want to be honest with you. I didn't expect this many people to partake in the festivities, but I do appreciate everybody for tuning in and partaking in the debate commentary with me, both post, during, and pre. I really appreciate this, man. Once again, I am going to have a show tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I have a show every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, folks. Cover the markets, cover the news, and, of course, the proverbial Twitter shout-outs, Radio Graffiti. I thought we were going to do that today, folks, but, man, we're having such a good show here, man. People are hype about the Trump train. So anyway, folks, let's take one more caller here. How about 513, man? You're on the horn. How you doing, man?
Hey, pretty good. To be short here, great debate. I have to agree with you that the high point of it was Trump, just straight to her face saying, if I win, I am sending my Department of Justice straight up your ass. If I were in charge, you would be in jail.
I thought that was beautiful. I mean, I was like, oh, man. I mean, he is telling her that she's got a lot to lose. Not just the president. She could potentially lose her freedom.
Yeah, that's what I've been waiting to hear this entire campaign, and that has me energized more than anything else has this past year.
No, absolutely. That's why I'm saying that is the highlight of the debate to me. I mean, that's what I want to hear. Not only do I want to hear that, I think that there should be a special prosecutor for Obama as well, for all the unscrupulous, disgusting, deceptive foreign policy and domestic policy activity that he's done as well. And look, I don't think that Trump is I don't think that he is not thinking about that. I think that he is legitimate, and I can't wait. I mean, listen, it's a month away. The intensity is unbelievable. We have to win this election. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, man. Any final thoughts?
I'd just like to thank you for the autograph. Thank you to the missus for getting the envelopes together. Thanks for doing the show tonight, too.
Hey, man, no, thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you purchasing the autograph. Appreciate you for listening. All right? As a matter of fact, I appreciate everybody for listening, even the people that hate yours truly for whatever reason, all right? I love you too, baby, all right? Even if you hate me and you're like, oh, Ghost, I'm going to dox you. I love you too, baby. Anyway, tomorrow, folks, I'm going to have a lecture on the show tomorrow outlining computer security, outlining how to protect yourself, protect your identity online, and how doxing is applied in relation to threatening somebody on the internet, folks. And I'm going to have a very, very breakdown, consistent broadcast about this, how to protect yourself online, how to protect yourself from any potential trolls that want to make your life a living hell, how to protect your identity from your personal information, so on and so forth. And talk about this different the different constructs in which trolls deal in. All right? Anyway, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me, man. It really means a lot to me that you all were listening while I was listening to the debate. I mean, I was excited. It was a great debate. Trump won hands down. Please follow me on Twitter, folks. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost. And, of course, if you want to purchase the autograph that the last caller just mentioned, put into your browser right now, ghost.market. That is ghost.market, and you can get my autograph or the engineer's autograph. Anyway, see you tomorrow, folks, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, baby. I am out.